happening, everybody, and welcome back to the True Gamer Podcast, the podcast hosted by two gamers for you, the true gamers. I'm one of your hosts, Eddie, along with my bro, the inverted gamer himself, Sheps. How's it going, bro?
It's going good.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's going good. We just had, not on purpose, just like a little old school Conbrosations chat.
Yeah.
And this is why we should just start with having the cameras on, because we normally talk like that and forget to record. We're like, frick! We should have recorded it.
With how many times we've been burnt by
100
easily memory card being full, we're like, well, we can't turn on the camera yet because what if we record a bunch of stuff and then they run out of space?
I know.
Oh my god! But this time
we
did it,
sword.
and we just started having our usual bro conversation. Guys on Patreon, you guys will get to see that.
Just
very
our
soon.
chat, innit?
It's gonna be hilarious. So, bro, you're doing good, yeah? You excited for another week of True Gamer Podcast right here?
Yes, yeah. I feel like our last Conbrosations podcast was incredible.
Yes.
So we're like, people are set for Conbros stuff. If you didn't check that one out, you really should. That was good. I'm looking forward to True Gamer.
Yeah.
And because I have some questions about you about what you're playing, but I know you're going to ask me, what have you been playing, bro? And I'm going to answer. I started a Plague Tale: Innocence.
Oi!
Yeah,
there we go.
I had meant to start a couple weeks ago, and then I came around here because we were going to film some content, and we deleted it to put some, I think it was Battlefield, on the PlayStation. And then we had some technical issues, and we didn't record that content.
Doesn't sound like anything we would ever happen to us.
And then a couple days ago, I was like, oh, cool, I've got a couple hours. My chick went to bed early because she was like, I don't know, she naps a lot.
Mm.
Oh my god, that chick!
You tired her out,
my man. She was just tired.
Yeah, she was just tired from work.
Of me. I did tire her out, but not in a good way. And I'm like, cool, I've got an hour or two before I have to go somewhere. I'll play a Plague's Tale. Turn on my PlayStation. Where is it? Why is Battlefield on here? Delete that. Download it. I have 20 minutes, never mind. But I played a bunch of it last night.
Good.
I'm really enjoying it.
I've only played the first bit as well. Chapter 3 I've been up to.
I got to... What's that guy's name? Litorius or something. You have to find a doctor. Your mum tells you, go and find...
I think that sounds familiar. We might be in a similar sort of spot.
Yeah, so I found him. That's where I'm at.
Good.
Spoiler, let you find him.
Ah! Spoiled the whole game. They can't play, no point in playing it, guys. I know it was free on PS Plus, but it's just worthless. Call Sony, tell them Sheps ruined the game for you. Refund your PS Plus. Sony are now going down because everyone's lost their PS
Plus. It's true, you're not
Game
Pass. You're not Game Pass. Initially, there were a couple of things I wasn't super sure about. Like, I don't love the way... What's her name? Amicia? Like, something about her character movement and where the camera is fixed makes me feel a little bit like, not seasick, but it's in that area where, like, she moves kind of jankily. She doesn't strafe very well.
Right.
And normally, I think the FOV is too close.
Okay.
Because normally you're like, here's the character's head, and you're like either back here to the right or back here to the left.
Right.
And in a Plague Tale, I feel like I'm right over her shoulder, and she's not moving as smoothly as I'd like. But once I got used to that, I'm really kind of enjoying it. I'm hoping once I upgrade the sling, that'll be more fun to play with.
Yeah.
And
make that sound.
Yeah, very satisfying. Very satisfying. Getting a bit much sometimes, but also satisfying.
I'm just like, do slingshots make this noise when you fling them?
Maybe.
I've never used one, to be honest.
I don't know. The only slingshots I've ever used, which was not in the UK because they're illegal, but you know, like the Black Widow things with the arm straps where you... Yeah. Which I've never used here.
Never. We are fully in compliance with the laws.
I don't know how those are illegal, by the way. I mean, I can see why, because I'm pretty sure you can kill... I know for a fact you can kill, like, small animals with that thing.
It just hurt one kid one time.
Yeah, probably.
And then some Karens came along and were like, oh, the kids and then my cat and
my cat, yeah.
And then they went, all right, look, we don't really need these. The government doesn't use them, so therefore we can...
Right. So, the thing that I wasn't expecting is Hugo, her little brother. I was expecting to find him super annoying because he's way too young. This isn't like, for example, The Last of Us or God of War.
Yeah.
In both cases, Atreus and Ellie are about somewhere in the 14 range, right? They're like functioning little adults.
Yeah.
Right? You can give them relatively complex tasks and they can go and do the thing.
Yeah.
The kid, Hugo, is like 5.
Yeah.
And
you think it's going to be a complete hindrance on everything, right?
I really love that little kid. He's super cute. The way he just responds to you and you're like, do we know anything? Yeah, let's do the thing. Oh, hey, look, flowers. I don't know, man. I was not expecting to care, and I did. And I also really like the hook. Whatever's going on, it's got to die.
Yeah,
because of Leon.
I like it's still mystery to me because I'm still early in the game, but his headaches are clearly indicative of something.
Right.
I'm like,
I do suspect. Like I said, I think we're both about somewhere in the 3 to 4 hours in, and I googled it. I think it's like a 15 to 18 hour game, somewhere in there.
Not bad.
So we're still early days. I suspect it's something Ellie-esque, where he's immune to the thing, or can detect it or some shit. I don't know, but
I think he was cursed as a baby.
Okay.
And he can detect the disease anytime he's around. Maybe he was the one giving birth to the rats.
Perfect.
That's why we never see him. We never saw him when he was a kid. That's it. He was giving birth to the rats.
Can't prove you wrong.
Can't prove me wrong.
I can't prove you wrong.
Exactly. So that must be it.
So I'm actually really enjoying it. Yeah, that's been good fun.
Right.
Not my normal kind of game. It's a bit more. I wouldn't say horror.
Yeah, you're more like Final Fantasy IX. That's it.
Oh my god, that game! I love that game so much.
And Ghost of Tsushima, apparently.
I've never mentioned that. How do you know?
Secrets. I know everything.
But I don't know. It's been good fun. So that's what I've been playing at the minute.
I'm happy about it.
What about you?
Before we just get into that, because I want to time this out nicely.
Okay.
I do want to say thank you to our boys over on Patreon.com who support us at the $15 tier.
Hold on, where? Which Patreon?
Patreon.com/Conbrosations. That one right there. Our boys who support us at the highest tier right there. You guys are amazing. Our super bros. Super right here. I did actually sneak that in early into the Patreon so he couldn't say anything. It's actually super that one. Those guys are Diogo Dildo, Isak the Ultimate Cumsock, Carol to Rivia, AK Casper the Friendly Patron, Record Friction, Jeremy Renner, that's right, an official Avenger, Martin Scorsese's Master H. Bart 12, the Super Sus Ben Fryer, Star Wars Encyclopedia, Adam Sundling, Filthy FIFA Fanatic Joe McCormack, My Juicy Left Nut, the Sexy Producer Sean, and Kevin, the #1 simp.
So long.
I was tempted to be like, I'm going to leave out.
Just get off and go and make a cup of tea.
Fuck it. Of Xbox. Thank you guys so much for keeping the lights and mics on and this show going, everything on this channel going. We love you so much.
That's mostly an inside joke as well. Like, the #1 sim, that pop you get at the end is so funny to me. I no one's going to appreciate it. I think people get the leaving the pause.
Yeah.
Like, people kind of understand that. But that pop at the end, hilarious.
You know another joke that was kind of hit and miss?
Go on.
So last episode, I started off the show with a little a cappella doing the intro of the soundtrack, the boom 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 boom. Because at the very end of the show, you know I do the awkward thing when we're finishing.
Yeah.
I was like boom 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 boom, and you was like, "What is that?" Trust me, record yourself, and it's not even gonna sound like the intro and whatnot. And then you said, "Do you know what? Record yourself and replace it with the intro." But because you said it so far at the end, it started, and people were like, either. Is this the intro? Is this what you're doing? Or they were going, oh, that's quite funny. I get it because you're doing it with your mouth and whatnot. So that was the reason why I did that, just so you know, guys.
A little bit of homework.
Yeah.
After this is done, I'm saying you do the whole intro. You record that audio and replace the intro with it for this episode.
Right.
So it starts, you know, the epic thing, like the Simpsons hit and run, all that's going, God of War, rah, all of that. But it's you going, bah, bah, ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
You need to listen to the last episode. That's exactly how I did it.
That is what you did.
Exactly how I did it. I recorded multiple tracks. So I did the whole thing where I'm like, boom, boom, boom.
Oh, you added layers to it.
Boom, boom, boom. And then I went back and I went, bop, 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 bop. But I even did the Kratos raw. I went, raw. So it sounds
freaking great minds.
But the problem is that because we said we set up that joke right at the end, people are like, did you lose the audio or something? And I'm like, no,
it's part of the joke. It's part of the joke. Movie magic.
But anyway, yes. So what I'm playing
Yeah.
I'm not going to bore people too long. I'm not going to mention too much
Oh,
of this.
good. Never mind. What's our first topic?
I've been playing more Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
I took the PC downstairs. That's why it isn't on in the background right now.
By the way,
to play on the OLED screen, and it's
this is maybe stupid. It's probably obvious to a lot of people, but when that's in a place that it's not like supposed to be, like the desktop was always supposed to go there or maybe under here.
Yeah. Right.
We allocated the space for it. It's in the man cave.
Yeah.
When it's downstairs, just like in your living room on your TV, that thing's freaking enormous.
Mate,
it's huge. How much does it weigh?
A decent amount. I have to I'm gonna have to put 2 rounds. Because I
only remember. I've only ever moved it as parts, so they were all individually fairly light. Yeah. But it's a beefy boy.
Yeah. And what's funny is that it's right next to my PS5 who's downstairs as well.
Oh, the PS5 looks small.
The PS5, I was like, huh, so the PS5 ain't that
PS1
big
Slim.
You put it up next to it and like the PC still towers over it, even though it's quite tall. But I'm like, you know what, the PS5 don't look too big in this scenario.
It's not too bad, it's pretty reasonable.
It's like if the fat PS3.
Yes.
The fat PS3 should have always stood next to other fat things or even fatter things.
Yes.
So it was like, I look slim in comparison.
That's right.
But yeah, I've been playing more Cyberpunk. I'm in the heist, the Konpeki Plaza. We're going to get the chip.
Okay.
The fucking big issue is, and Katie knows all about this, it's just too good looking and I spend all my time in fucking photo mode. So bloody stupid, but there is an update. Now got 2 mods on my PC.
Ooh.
Full-time PC gamer.
Can't wait for it to shut down. You have to reinstall codecs and stuff.
Do you know what? It might do that. I did have an issue with my controller one time. It just didn't want to connect to it. It didn't want to work. So I was like, this is why I hate PCs. Do you want to know what my other mod was?
Go on.
To skip the intro of the game. So you know when you start up, it's like the red text.
Yeah.
Boom. Welcome to Night City.
400 homicides tonight. Yeah.
And then you're like, fucking shut up.
Yeah.
So that's and to skip all that to go right to the main menu. Super time mod here, hacker. Don't call me.
I'm gonna say actually, I didn't even consider the possibility of that as a mod. I love it. Incredible.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. Talking to not Night City, Cyberpunk. I saw, I don't know why I'm following a couple of like Cyberpunk fan pages, like the official fan pages. Not official at all, but they just have it in their name.
Yeah.
And every now and again they'll put some just cool stuff in there, right? Like Adam Smasher has a little hideout that you can find in the game.
Yeah, I found that as well.
Right.
Yeah.
So little things like that. Apparently there is a Blade Runner, the original Blade Runner, there is a little Easter egg. It's what is that guy's name? Batty, the villain. Doesn't matter. The villain from Blade Runner.
Oh, okay, from Blade
is
Runner,
like
yeah.
up on one of the rooftops somewhere. I was going to check that out, but instead I started playing A Plague's Tale. But
understandable. You were on your way to that place and then turned into A Plague's Tale. I get it.
Exactly. I gotta say, I think we spoke about it last time on A True Gamer, but I've had to, being on the base, what is it, like 600 gigs of usable space, manage my games. Yeah. And luckily, because it's PS5, it downloads and stuff pretty quickly, but I haven't got rid of Cyberpunk, and I don't think I'm gonna. And I'm really torn about this, because we keep shitting on it, which is fair enough, and it's mostly CDPR, but I've got unfinished business with the game. I'm like a Cyberpunk ghost, but I can't ever really bring myself to boot it back up. It's so weird. I'm in a really weird spot with that.
Yeah.
How are you finding? Do you think you're going to put much more time on it, or are you just messing around with it?
I'm worried actually that I'm going to drop out of it, because I'm getting that feeling as well. Sometimes I'm like, it's not even that much of a chore to turn on, especially now that I can skip all the intros.
Right.
But sometimes I'm just like, I don't want to play this, I kind of want to play something else.
It's super easy to put down, isn't it?
Which is just terrible. As good as it looks. Maybe it's because a part of me as well is like, so am I going to turn this on and just spend all my time in photo mode again?
Right.
Or am I going to play the game?
Yeah.
I need to train myself, because I'm not bad.
Yeah.
Good at that.
It's time for everybody's favourite segment.
It is.
By the way, this segment's actually become really surprisingly popular.
It is. It's
I
time,
think that's a bad sign.
Yeah, right. It's time, ladies and gentlemen, for
correcting Conbrosations.
We don't have a jingle
for that. If you're new around here, if you're one of the new guys, you're checking us out for some reason, we're pretty stupid, and we've never let facts and information get in the way of a strongly held belief on the internet. So we'll say stuff on YouTube because we have no filter or decency.
Yeah.
And normally people were just like, you're wrong, and beef us out on the Discord. But we now said, leave your corrections of the stupid stuff we say in the comment section of this video. So go down in the comment section and go, you know, when you said this, well, actually it's that. And that serves two things. One, you get to correct us and we'll read out your correction. And two, we get some freaking engagement on our videos. I actually do genuinely forget the engagement side of things. I love this segment. It's really fun to see everybody's feedback.
Yeah.
And also it gets people talking on the video, which is more fun because then it gets everybody talking on the video. Yeah. Rather than like, if you come to our Discord, best Discord on the internet, it's actually linked down. Yeah, down's still down for me, isn't it? It's not like I'm on the side, isn't it? Don't know why I had to. God damn it.
This turned into the explanation of what correcting Conbrosations is.
Exactly.
To just whatever's going on inside that head at this moment.
Scrambled eggs. It's scrambled eggs. But so, if you come to Discord and correct us, there's a good chance we don't see it because Discord moves very quickly and conversations change all the time. And someone immediately beefs you out even though you're correct.
Yeah.
But if you do it on the comment section, like it's stuck there and we can easily find it. So it's a great segment. It's good fun. Have we been corrected? Definitely. Who's correcting us about what?
Do you want to know? We actually aren't. We weren't wrong about anything. So according to everybody who wrote in, right, we've got a lot of cool comments from people like Zakachino, Sean, Geordie T, also James, and also Earl Jones.
Right.
He's two people. Get it? Who were saying really cool stuff, talking about all the stuff we were talking about in the show in regards to PlayStation, Netflix. Yeah. But it turns out we didn't get anything wrong.
What?
We're fucking one for one.
This freaking mic.
But yeah, guys, basically, if you do notice we say anything wrong within this episode, write it down in the comment section, and we'll check at the beginning of the next episode and correct Conbrosations.
About like 15 minutes.
Yeah, something like that. Bro.
Yeah, that's me. That's my name. Don't wear it out.
This is the True Gamer Podcast.
That is
coming to your eyes and ears every Saturday here at youtube.com.
Just search for the True Gamer Podcast.
Search for True Gamer Podcast on YouTube, as well as podcast services around the world. You could just search for True Gamer Podcast over there. If you guys love what we do here, and if you love to support us, you want to go that little smidge of an extra mile, you can hit the like button down below. You can subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for the notification so you get each and every podcast as and when it happens. Join us in the premieres and all that stuff. And if you're on podcast services, you can rate us 5 stars. Leave a little comment down there and say, these guys, they're so handsome. I can only hear them over the podcast service, but I guess that's
the best way to check our looks.
Really handsome, right? They sound really handsome. But guys, if you do want to go even further, if you feel like these guys are great, I want to help them even more and support them a little bit more, you can head over to patreon.com/Conbrosations, where you can chuck us a couple of bucks a month, and you can get early access to this podcast right here, a couple of days early. You can get exclusive access to the True Gamer Podcast, which is
that's the Conbrosations podcast. This is the True Gamer Podcast.
That's right, the Conbrosations Podcast. You can get exclusive access to that, which is our unfiltered, no rules, no nothing podcast where we talk about everything.
We do, yeah.
You can also get access to our brand new show called The True Gamer Plus, which is a brand new supplementary podcast to this podcast right here, where we talk about usually a topic, answer questions in the community, and stuff like that. I mean, when I say we...
When you say we, I was going to say, I'm not supposed to be coming to these, am I? Because I haven't been doing any of these.
Well, I sent you an invite, you just didn't turn up. No, this is just a show just for me, but it's really cool so far. Another episode is happening this weekend as well. I'm going to be talking about your favorite topic, Ghost of Tsushima Legends, as well as other things.
I hope that's the topic for today.
There is that topic as well, but there's another topic I wanted to talk about for that, but that would be really cool. So if you guys want some of that, you can head over there. However, if you guys can't, if you guys don't want to, if you think these guys aren't worth any amount of money, no problem. We understand. Just being here is good enough. Just commenting and liking and stuff like that is fine with us. We love you regardless. But There are
you've butted and howevered like 15 times. Just go through it.
I think that's my go-to word when I'm gonna. There is one group of people who are fantastic.
Yeah, the sinister select few.
Exactly.
I gotta stop. Because every time I go down this rabbit hole, just suddenly they turn into like home invading murderers.
Trust me, they love it. They love being called. They're like, oh, Daddy Sheps, belittle me.
Step on me, Daddy.
We have a group of people called the True Gamers who support us at the $5 tier, who made this podcast happen to support us right now. Those people are Jeremy Horde, Sheps' Crusty Right Nut, Cats Bacoral, Isak Manny, Real Kermit Cinema, Record Friction, Pig Rolling Down a Hill.
Okay.
Kevin Crow, Super Whale Ben, Joe McCormack, GC Nightwalker, Diogo, you absolute thithering thothage, aka Zacchino. Hey man, where the fuck is Mario Judah though? Batfan Reborn, Fishy, Jackal, Max H, Cobra SS, and Albie Scory. Thank you, True Gamers, for supporting the podcast and keeping our lights on.
That's
the many lights we have here cooking us regularly.
Two things. One, we're closing in on, for some reason, my magical number of 50 patrons. We're like 3 away.
You willed it into existence.
I did.
You just went,
It's just super cool to me to have 50 people that want to like jump on Patreon and help us out. And, what was the and? I had something else. Frick! It's gone. It is completely gone.
Thank you all for supporting us.
I remembered it.
Go on.
The notification bell, which I know everybody says, oh yeah, hit like and subscribe and hit the notification bell.
Yeah.
YouTube has always been crap with the sub boxes, but I've been doing, you know me, I like to do a little bit of back end work. I love the back end.
He's a big fan of the back end, guys.
I did a bunch of digging.
The back end hurts.
And there's a bunch of YouTubers that also do like how to do like YouTube stuff and algorithm stuff. So I checked out their stuff. I checked out some actual numbers. The algorithm is super weird at the minute, where like what it actually does, this is to do with their how they push content, but it will push videos to about 10% of your audience. So we'll upload a video, only 10% of people are going to see it. It goes to their sub boxes, and depending on how well that video is received with unknown metrics, it will then get pushed into other people's sub boxes that are subscribed to us. So the notification bell, which by the way doesn't always work, is gonna be the
best shot we got, but sometimes
it's more likely to let you know. So maybe you wanna, and because we don't do like a lot of like little weird videos, if you do choose to do that, tell it to just show you everything. Hit all, not personalized, because personalized, no one seems to know how that works.
That's a good question.
I couldn't find that at all anywhere.
Because once you hit personalized, it doesn't go, so how often do you want to receive it? Or what kind of content? It just goes personalized. Don't worry about it.
I got you.
We got it from here.
I got you. So hit all, because it's what, like 2 uploads or one upload a week.
We don't have a lot of videos, so we don't spam, you know, it's just one of these things.
So if you do want to see all of our stuff, or at least know that it's gone up, do consider hitting that bell. Anyway, talking of bells, we have some stuff to talk about.
Yes.
We're the bells.
Let's get started with today's big topics.
Penises. Cock.
All of those words.
Yeah. What's our...
On today's show, we'll be discussing Ghost of Tsushima Legends.
Yeah.
We'll be discussing... How does that... I had one other thing here. What was I going to say? There was a thing here. Oh, PlayStation VR 2.
Yeah.
And then the big question of the show. Can anything stop the PlayStation 5 success?
Nope. Well, I'm glad we could answer that.
All right. See you later, guys. See you next week. No problem. We got it. Tune in next time, boys.
Yeah.
Basically, this question came up because yesterday we got financial reports of PlayStation, how they're doing, how they're selling, and they go into really good detail, which I bloody love.
Nah, it's not needed. It's not needed.
Because you get to see how each individual sales are doing, how games are doing, how the console is doing, and then in contrast, you have things like Microsoft. Like we
That's
said
what I'm getting at,
It was like,
so we make money. Yeah.
Done.
Lots of it.
Done.
We spend lots of money, but we also make lots of monies.
Exactly.
Game Pass involves money.
And this report brought up the question in my mind.
Yeah.
Because recently, in the past couple of weeks, months, in fact, since the launch of the PlayStation 5, there has been articles coming out left, right, and center trying to highlight every bad aspect of being in the PlayStation ecosystem.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and name as many as I can. If you come up with some as well, feel free to like shout them out and whatnot. There was the first thing when it started off, the PlayStation 5 was launched without the M2 slot drive for the expandable memory active. Even if it was it was a thing. It was a thing,
sure,
right? That was
let's put it on the list.
People were like, that's a con point right there. I can't believe you have expandable storage, but you can't even use it.
No web browser, that's my big one.
No web browser, that was a thing as well that came up.
So I can't sell the 7 Seas for my anime.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, PlayStation games are now costing $70. It's like PlayStation themselves are raising the price of video games. But what I'm trying to say is that these were pieces put out as negative points towards Sony.
Also, I love that. Sony's shit, but they're increasing the cost of games. I thought you said they were shit and no one likes them. So how can they single-handedly change the entire gaming infrastructure? No, well, they can do both.
There's a lot of hypocrisy in all of these articles they read. Let me look at what else there is. Oh, after Ratchet and Clank came out, it looked like the Horizon Forbidden West was going to be the only exclusive coming out from PlayStation for the rest of 2021. Not very long. There's like 5-6 months left, so it's not a big gap. However, it looks like Horizon Forbidden West is going to be delayed, not confirmed yet.
Don't worry, we still got God of War.
Which has then pushed the narrative that PlayStation has no exclusives for the end of 2021.
Unlike Xbox.
Again, I'm just trying...
I'm sorry.
Calm down. Stay on topic. So... these things are coming out saying that this is PlayStation's doing that bad. They don't have an answer to Game Pass, so they're like they don't have good value on their console. Their games are costing way more than the competitors. Is this going to bring Sony down? They don't have a cheaper alternative, as cheap as Xbox's Series S. That's a con point as well in Sony's mind.
Yeah.
Sorry, in Sony's column. All of these things came out. And then you have on the opposite side, where they're doing pro puff pieces for Xbox, where they go, Xbox's Game Pass is such good value. You can get all of these games. There's another day one game coming to Game Pass. Xbox bought Bethesda, and now they're doing this. Oh, PlayStation charges for upgrades, whereas Xbox have their FPS boost, which is totally on Microsoft and free, and all of the upgrades are done so easily through... smart delivery they call it, whereas with PlayStation, if you want to upgrade, it's a bit of a ball ache. You have to download a different version of a game. Transferring your saves is hard. Everything's so difficult on PlayStation. And then we get this financial report that says that PlayStation have already sold over 10 million consoles.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, that's, by the way, it's 8 months?
Yes. 10.1 million consoles.
Yeah.
They sold 2.3 in the last, I think it was the last quarter, I think it was 2 months, something like that.
It's nuts, is what it is.
They have bumped their forecast projections for how much money they were going to be making over in the financial year. They have also secured enough chips to make another 12 million consoles to ship their target of 22.3 million consoles
by March 22, right?
By March 2022, so another 8 months' time, they're projecting, and these are accurate. These are as accurate as possible forecasts. They can't lie about this stuff, otherwise it's lying to investors, and then it's a lawsuit.
It's financial fraud, is what it is.
So there's their best guess.
Also, securing that number of chips, that's a purchase order. They have those chips. Those are in stock. They own them.
They're theirs now, exactly.
So, for the record, they forecast not only their current fastest selling console ever of all time.
That's right.
But for that to increase again, and in the next, say, where would we be? The next 8 months.
8 months,
to then do the next fastest selling...
And
they bought the chips. This is what I'm saying. They didn't order the chips. They've bought them. If they have secured them, they own those chips.
They're theirs. And this was the best, the highest performing first quarter ever in the company's history.
Yeah.
So then it brings up the question. if all of these things that people are talking about on, gaming Twitter and gaming YouTube, where like PlayStation is doing this wrong, PlayStation is terrible because of this, because of that, and then PlayStation come out and they go, we're actually doing phenomenally, and here's all of the evidence for you, so you can check our math.
We had to ramp up.
So then it asks the question, is there anything that can stop the PlayStation 5 success? Do you think there is anything that can happen?
First thing.
Go on.
You said it's a very key phrase, and I think this is where some of the like confusion is in the space, not for you, but for like people. As you said, people are saying all these things about PlayStation not doing very well.
Yeah.
Xbots are saying this. PC gamers, right? Not people. These aren't people. These are subhuman scum.
And crucially, media people who are trying to elicit those responses from those people. They don't actually care at the end of the day.
They just want juicy clicks.
They want juicy clicks, and they want to get you riled up.
Yeah.
That's what they want to do.
Right. No. Like it seems very much that. Let me take one step back. We've always said that in like the console wars, just as to summarize like the landscape, you had Xbox and PlayStation, and then Nintendo were off on their own.
Yeah.
They don't compete. They're not in that space.
Yeah.
It's like World War One. Like frickin' Malaysia was never involved. Do you know what I mean? Like, not involved. I don't know. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Right? I don't frickin' know worlds, geography, countries.
Were they in the world that time out?
So it looks like we're gonna have just 3 different leagues. There's gonna be Nintendo. They're off there. They do family gaming. PlayStation. They do gaming. Xbox. Yep. They're there. It looks like we're separating.
Someone said something similar to that actually, where they were like, it looks like we're trending towards a place where everyone has their own success in their own fields.
Yeah.
However, the tweet was crafted very well, because I think when someone says something, makes an assertion like that, they have to think, someone could say this in response.
Yeah.
So they said it this way. They were like, PlayStation are going to always be known for producing amazing exclusives that everyone's going to want to play. Yeah. And then they said, Xbox it has Game Pass. They didn't say Xbox is going to be responsible for having an amazing Game Pass. This could be an amazing successful service. And then they went, Nintendo's going to be known for producing really unique quality titles. And I was like, you see, I think you picked your words very well.
That's a very well crafted
tweet, I think, there.
Because what they said was Game Pass, and anybody that likes Game Pass, that they see the value proposition of Game Pass, right? In, I think, both of our opinions, it doesn't compete with what Sony's putting out and what Nintendo's putting out. Yeah. They dominate their own space, and it's just a lot of stuff. It seems like 90% of which, I'd love to get the numbers on how many things are downloaded and played and hours played through Game Pass of these games. If I had to guess, I think it's similar to Steam, where people buy all these games on the sales, like the cheap game, high number of games, none of it gets played. Everybody's still playing CSGO. I kind of think that's what is happening on Game Pass. Can't prove it. I don't think Game Pass or Xbox compete. I've also laid out my ideal structure under which Xbox would come to compete, right? And that is, and they know this, following the recipe that Sony has published since 2013 with The Last of Us 1, how to do it. And they haven't been. There's no exclusives. There's just a lot of titles, most of which you don't play. Yeah. Right? And forget the success as a business, because we've also talked about that. Like, if you can get Game Pass for 3 years for $1.
Yeah.
It's not a good business.
Madness.
That's not a good business model. Right? So forget that. What is there to play? Hopefully Halo Infinite's going to be amazing. I'm actually getting really excited for it.
Yeah, I am as well. I've seen some... I wish I did apply to get in the flight, but I didn't get in. And I was just watching everyone. I was like, I want to play this.
Yeah.
I want to see what's going on.
It looks like fun if the...
But before we get too far away from the main topic, because you
went I went on...
We went on a tangent and then went on another tangent.
I don't see how anyone can consider PlayStation's failures to really be failures. Like the increase in the game price. They're giving you longer, higher quality, better performance games with better crafted stories than we've ever had before. right? Since 2018, we've had potentially 5 of the best games ever made, ever.
Yeah.
And 4 of them were PlayStation exclusives. The only one that wasn't was Red Dead Redemption 2. You know, but God of War, Last of Us 2, Ghost of Tsushima, there's something else that I'm forgetting.
Yeah.
Right? The cost of production is going up. A car doesn't cost now a brand new Mustang isn't $6,000 anymore.
Yeah.
Right? These prices change, they go up. Inflation's a thing. Just inflation alone, we're still beating it, by the way.
I think the only reason why it's such a thing in the gaming scene is because, one, as bad, I don't mean this in a derogatory way, but gaming skews more to the younger audience.
Yeah, less disposable cash.
And less disposable cash. Maybe they don't understand economics as much and stuff like that. So they're just looking for, my game is this. And also, we have been screwed many, many times by big companies it comes to what things cost and how much content we get for them.
That's true.
So we're very wary of that. I get that.
Don't get me wrong, we were both there.
Yeah.
Where to afford your games, that was your Christmas money or your birthday money or your weekend job or whatever it was. They're expensive.
Yeah.
Especially when cash comes to you like that. But that doesn't mean it isn't worth the money.
Yeah.
Right? It's just one of those things. And I'm not defending high cost. I don't think like a game like Kenna shouldn't be $70, right? But something like Ghost of Tsushima 2 or God of War Ragnarok, for the game that I want it to be, I don't see how it's coming in under that.
Yeah. And it's just going to be... A lot of people, when we made that video, we said, like, I think the price of $70 is decent.
Not bad.
It kind of works for especially when we want more high quality video games.
Yeah.
People were like, well, it's just going to be people like EA charging $70 for it. And
I'm sure they will.
And then Take was like, yeah, that's a byproduct of it. However, you don't have to buy those games. Yeah. And that's how you solve that problem. Anyway, before we get too far away from it,
can PlayStation put a foot wrong?
Is there genuine... I want us to look for something, because I know people accuse us, even though last week I did have my Game Pass t-shirt on.
You did.
People accuse us of being Sony ponies, but I would like to, and this is what I love about Conversations, just for us to try and find a way for them to. In my mind, I don't think there is either. Because with all of the stuff that came out, the thing that really got me was like when they said PlayStation are focusing only on blockbuster titles, I thought if they lose a lot of like indie support, and if they lose a lot of support from, the people on YouTube who don't just play the big games, but they also go for indie games as well because they want to seem cultured and stuff like that. And I'm like, if they lose their support, then this might have a big domino effect after a while. Yeah. And then it just needs another bad thing, and then it just all goes down. However, they came out of that completely unscathed. They've come out of every single thing that I see on Twitter completely unscathed. In fact, better than before.
Yeah, they're gaining strength.
And they don't do anything because of it. It's just they continue their normal operation, and none of that stuff matters. It's water off a duck's back. So I want to know, is there anything that they can do?
I'll tell you, I think the reason that I'm going to say no is not because Sony can't do wrong. It's because at the start of this current generation of consoles, they raised the bar so significantly. And forget the performance, forget the SSD and all that stuff. 3D audio, the DualSense with the haptic feedback, like that is a next generation of gaming. Yeah. And Xbox didn't do that. They just made the next console. And so just from that standpoint, it's twins, isn't it? You got Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger. One put in a bunch of efforts, come out stronger to begin with. It's going to take a lot to get Arnie down to Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I actually am of the opinion that PlayStation could do nothing for 3 years, and then we can have this discussion. And the argument would be, well, what's Sony given us in the last 3 years? Well, nothing. Okay, well, now maybe we have somewhere for Game Pass. We can talk about that.
I like that way you said that, because it's like you have to see something happen in order for you to have a discussion about it, because that's the conversation that we have about Xbox. Sorry to bring this away again from what we're talking about, but just a quick roundabout. It kind of relates,
though. This is the spaghetti.
It does, doesn't it? Well, people are saying, like, after the recent E3, everyone really I was like, Xbox is coming back. And I was like, They may be coming back. However, they're not here now.
Right.
So for now, we have to assume that they're going to be doing exactly what they've been doing for the past 6 years, which is absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And we need to continue until something changes. All right, they're doing some decent moves, and they have these quote-unquote pro-consumer moves, but I'm not buying any of that until I see what's in the pudding. And until I see some games, until I see what happens once those games are out and then they perform the way that they perform, and then Microsoft turns around and goes, we're going to continue through this because this is the right thing to do, then maybe I'll continue. Until now, it's all just been buzzwords and talks and Phil Spencer going on shows when he should just be managing a team and making video games. I wish he wouldn't go on podcasts and instead release a bloody game.
But Phil, if you want to come on the podcast, let us know.
Feel free to come over to our podcast. Until that happens, we have to... And the same thing with PlayStation. Until something goes wrong, we can't really...
I think, honestly, to get to like even playing field, I think that both of these things need to happen. Sony needs to do nothing for... Let's say until 2023. So nothing comes out for another year and 8 months. Nothing.
Which isn't happening. So.
Which isn't happening. And also Ratchet and Clank alone is probably enough to tide you over for this discussion, not for us as gamers.
Yeah.
And simultaneously, Xbox needs to come out. Not No Man's Sky. What's their freaking game? The one that we know nothing about, but everybody's super hyped for. The space one.
Oh, Starfield.
Starfield needs to come out and be good. Halo Infinite needs to be a real Halo successor, so the next game after 3.
Yeah.
And Fable needs to come out. You come out and now suddenly it's like, what's Sony done in recent? Well, they did all this great stuff, but what have they done for me recently? Not much. And here's Xbox, and they have Fable, and it's a real Fable. They have Halo, and it's a real Halo, and Starfield, whatever. That's cool, right? Plus Game Pass. Now we're in an even playing field, and we can have this discussion again.
Yeah.
But like, I think if Sony just continues on its normal trajectory and Xbox catches up with a great Halo, with a great Fable, with Starfield being even though no one knows anything about it, being as good as people think it will be, I still don't think they catch up. It's not enough. It's not enough yet, and it's been way too long since the last good thing. The last really good thing on Xbox was the 360.
Yeah.
The last really, truly great thing. So it's been a whole generation of right? Yeah. I think Xbox can catch up. I think they got the titles. If Rare would just make Banjo, because, oh my God, there is some stuff there for them to catch up. It can happen. I'm not saying Xbox is out of the race and dead forever.
It's close, though. It feels like that.
It does feel like this generation could be the last generation of Xbox, though.
So you made a good point and made me think about it this way, is that maybe the answer is the games.
Yeah.
People,
the answer is the games.
Regardless of what comes out of PlayStation, are invested in PlayStation and are happy to continue because they know that they're going to be getting, well, quote unquote, no, you never know, but they know they're going to be getting a quality game at the end of it. And that's what they trust in, and that's why they would go out and buy PlayStations. And that's why 10.1 million of them be sold. And by the way, PlayStation have now moved into making profit on all those PlayStations now. By the way, they did what we did. Remember we said the strategy is take a loss up front and then make all the money in the back end on like peripherals, on services and stuff like that. With the digital version, they did take a loss. They're not making a profit just yet on that version, but they're like, we're on track to very soon make profit based on all the peripherals and stuff we've sold.
Game downloads, game sales, everybody on Netflix, Amazon Prime, everything.
It's all good.
It's a functioning model. By the way, and this is what I think people don't get, is that prior to last gen, the PS4 and Xbox One, you didn't make a profit on the console. You sold consoles at a loss, and you make your money back over the life cycle through game sales. That's and like accessories. The normal model is you lose money up front. And that was before microtransactions and any of that stuff. So
and they've changed that now. So maybe there's that confidence with games. Now God of War comes out. It's not so good.
There is a real possibility of that because God of War 4 was so incredible, and that's what we have our hopes up there for.
It's asking to go higher than the Mount Everest of games. So God of War comes out and it's not so good.
Yeah, possible.
What does that mean for PlayStation?
I think the question is, Okay, look. As it stands, PlayStation is like a swimmer in the sea. Until Xbox is strong and has Fable and Halo and some other... They bring out Banjo-Kazooie, and then they bring out some brand new IP which follows the recipe. They know the recipe. Story-focused, character-driven, third-person RPG. Yeah. They know this. There's no sharks in the water. Sony has a long way to sink before Xbox is even in the same realm.
Right.
But, and this could happen within 3 to 5 years if... Microsoft, cut me the check. Cut me the check. Within 3 years, I genuinely believe you could do this. Where, okay, God of War comes out, it's not so great. I mean, it looks good. Story-wise, meh.
Yeah.
Horizon Forbidden West, it looks great. Story, meh. You know?
Yeah.
Totally possible. But until there's an Xbox actually nipping at their heels, no danger.
Yeah.
No danger. No danger. Because still is the question, well, what else are you going to play? Because there's nothing on Xbox.
Solid point.
And if you want something else to play, Nintendo, Pokemon.
Yeah.
Right? Like, where else are you going to go for stories?
While Xbox and like Phil Spencer and the guys over there will see that as a, well, PlayStation have tripped up, therefore everyone's going to come to us. That's not really how that's going to work.
Yeah, PlayStation have tripped up, but they're the only one in the race.
Because if that was the case, then people would be like, I'm buying a PlayStation and an Xbox because I like what PlayStation and Xbox are offering. It's not I have a PlayStation, therefore I cannot go to Xbox.
Right.
And I'm waiting for PlayStation to mess up so then I can trade it in and then I can get an Xbox. Because people can buy both.
I could buy an Xbox.
Exactly.
I could afford it. I just haven't. There's nothing to play.
I'm with you that I don't think it would kill PlayStation.
No.
I think it would be a significant blow.
Yeah.
But only to themselves. It's like if you do something terrible, you are sitting there at the edge of your bed and you're thinking about how badly you fucked up.
Yeah.
It's not someone else is going to come along and take the mantle from me. You're thinking, oh shit.
Yeah.
I've really messed up right here. Yeah. And I think that's going to be bad for them, and I think that's going to take away just a smidge from that PlayStation
brand,
Studios logo that comes on every single game, where you're thinking, oh, they've got the old God of War there. That's so awkward right now. Right. And they won't put the new one in there because of what negative connotation that brings to it.
By the way, it will never be that bad.
Yeah.
God of War will never be that bad.
It's almost impossible, but I'm living in a... Yeah. I'm trying to think of what could throw Sony off.
The other thing is, like, if you think about the smaller PlayStation exclusive titles, the ones that aren't, like, blockbusters, Infamous, Days Gone, like, these things don't suck. Even the little ones that aren't super popular don't suck.
Yeah.
I think the thing is, this is what Xbox don't get, is Xbox don't get that they're not yet... in the race. They used to be. Back in the 360, they were leading the race, I would have said.
Yeah.
But they're not in the race. So if PlayStation stumble or even fall, they're not racing anyone. Yeah. They just get back up and continue at their own pace. Doesn't matter how big the tumble is. Yeah. They're the only one in the race. So until Xbox is there, and that means both strong, well-known IP and something new that frickin' bangs. Nothing, man. There's nothing. And then here's my next question to you, following on from this, kind of a, not quite a segue, but like the PSVR 2 is coming. So now you got Sony with the best games, as of right now, all the best games, barring like Red Dead Redemption 2, are PlayStation exclusive. All of them. Within the last 10 years. And consumer-friendly priced, high-quality VR gaming is also only to be found on the PlayStation. Yeah. Like where, you know, what we were saying about the race, by the time Xbox catches up and they're in the like 100-meter sprint, Sony's onto a different race, man. They're doing the freaking pole vault or some shit. I don't know, Olympics, innit? It's Olympics
season. If it's a triathlon, they're in the last event. Right. And these guys are still trying to do the first sprint.
And that's what I'm saying is like Sony, and it's not that they're like trying to monopolize the gaming world. No, they're trying. And don't get me wrong, Sony is a corporation that will absolutely do that. But as of right now, they're doing it by providing the best product.
All they've done is go out and produce the best that they can do, and then it just happens to be they're running away with everything.
Right, exactly.
That's the way good stuff is.
Yeah. And it should. And the thing that Xbox hasn't cottoned onto is that they were left in the dust last gen, and it's ridiculous the gap now because all they did was continue. Right? If you do something that isn't working, you keep doing it, it's just going to continue to not work, right? To not get growth. They doubled down on the Game Pass thing, which I understand, but it doesn't seem to have worked. Where what Sony chose to do was increase the product, the 3D audio, the haptic on the controller for like immersion. Yeah. That's not something that on the surface would push sales. It doesn't push sales, but it will keep people on PlayStation. Because, man, just something about playing this game is so much better on PlayStation, which I think we predicted that as well. The way Xbox gets back in is with games, and then next box has to be haptic and all that fancy shit. But for right now, there we go. I got a con for Sony.
Here we go.
The VR, which I do think is going to become more popular, especially with pricing and it being on a powerful unit. Yeah. If they have almost a huge barrier to entry for like indie VR studios, then the VR won't take off, and that's a whole section that Sony are missing out on. Especially with like the 3D audio, the new shit that's in the PSVR 2. That would be a con for sure. The only problem with that is Xbox aren't doing anything. You know, so like it's like Sony's the consumer friendly VR and everything else is for PC gamers that want to spend $5,000 on a rig. Yeah. I guess it's a con, but I don't. Man, let me know. Hopefully this will be incorrect in conversations. Next week people say, "Oh, you forgot about this. You forgot about that."
It's possible.
Don't give me Game Pass, because Game Pass doesn't compete. Game Pass doesn't push consoles. Importantly,
that's the thing.
You can play. You've got Game Pass. Is it on an Xbox?
I was gonna say I'm on PC. You said a very key thing there. Game Pass doesn't compete, and I'm sure there are people out there that are like, huh, "Of course it does compete.
Great service.
It's competing right now." Is it? PlayStation just recorded their biggest, best quarter ever.
Yeah.
They've just sold over 10 million units, projected to sell another 12 million in the next 8 months.
Ridiculous. That's insane.
Are they? Granted, everyone's going to be saying, well, don't worry, wait until the Bethesda games come out. Wait until these other studios they picked up come out. Okay, we will see what happens when that comes around. I'm not saying that couldn't change some sort of a wave or two.
But right now...
But I'm looking at the evidence, and I'm saying to you that this isn't what's happening.
Also, there's a competing model. Like, it doesn't directly compete with Game Pass, but the PS Plus collection and the PS Now games, like I said, I'm playing A Plague Tale. Yeah. I've never heard anyone say I didn't like Plague Tale. Yeah. Everything I've seen about it is how brilliant it is. It's pretty good. It's also, one game. Don't get me wrong, one game a month, but it's one banger a month.
I'm not gonna beat on this drum too much because I do say it often. But my biggest concern, and I don't see it, I need to see this get solved before I can even say anything good about Game Pass, is that I need them to get over the hurdle of how it affects sales of other games, because
Game
Pass doesn't bring enough money to support the gaming industry. And if everything does switch over to that, it's either Microsoft going to be paying it out of their pocket for the rest of time, because they're like got this guilty face. They're like, oh shit, we ruined the gaming industry. We have to keep paying into it.
Good guy Microsoft. That sounds like them.
Because that's... or they're going to solve it somehow. They're going to solve something else. Because right now, there was Ace Attorney. Have you heard of Ace Attorney? It's a
the anime lawyer game.
Lawyer game.
Objection. Yeah.
Recently, in fact, I think it was yesterday or today or something like that, I saw a post that they put out on their financials saying that they have abandoned Xbox because it's not viable to publish their game on Xbox.
Yeah.
Because
of Game Pass.
People are so accustomed to paying $1 for Game Pass and then buying and then playing all their games on there, they don't want to buy any games. And the difference was stark. It was like they sold 1,000 units of a game, 1,000 units across millions of Xboxes of their game. Granted, it's a niche game as well.
Yeah.
But the PlayStation version, much higher, much higher.
Yeah.
And it was because people are Game Pass is breeding a culture of being accustomed to just having a game for the littlest price, and if anything isn't for that price, it's not worth it.
That's actually really important. I do think Game Pass is breeding a very toxic culture, and this, for the record, I'm not saying spend as much money as possible. Game companies should be milking you for money, but these guys are getting really accustomed to super low cost games, and I think that is eating into them so that they will forego incredible experiences because of the price, because it's too expensive, and go back to those same 4 games that they always play, or that one really cheap game they didn't really like because it was really cheap, and then they're the people that in a couple of years' time, there's nothing to play. All games are shit. Games have gone to shit. No, you're just not prepared to pay for an incredible experience. And again, we've said this before. You go to the cinema, right? You take you and your chick, and you get some popcorn. You're looking at anywhere from 50 to 70 quid, no problems.
Yeah.
Right? For at max, let's say you went to see the Snyder Cut. Maximum 4 hours. Let's say you sit through the credits, 4.5 hours max, absolute max. 40 hours
for games. You're getting way more.
Yeah, way more, and it's in the comfort of your own home, and it's an incredible story that you're in charge of.
Yeah,
like I do think Game Pass, and I think that could. I don't know what. I don't believe Game Pass is the way to go, so I've never really tried to make it work. I'm sure there's a way in which Game Pass works. Maybe like Disney Plus. You know how like new releases come out and you can purchase them?
That's what we said, like a Game Pass Plus.
Yes, yeah. We did say this. Yeah.
You said like there'll be an extra layer it will cost more, but it'll be for those day one super big blockbuster titles. At least then that's money into the system, so that it can be put back into the games and whatnot. Whereas right now it just doesn't work the way it is.
Here's another thing as well, something I just realised and remembered.
After this, we'll read out some comments because some people have written some stuff in.
One of the weird things about the game cost is that if you buy a game and it's like somewhat expensive, it doesn't have to be $70.
Yeah.
You're invested in getting into it and getting your money's worth out of it before you really judge it. If the game comes to you for $1 or however much, you play the first. If Death Stranding had come to me for that money, I would have played half an hour of it and put it down.
Yeah. I didn't invest that much into it. I don't care. Not really vibing.
Right. Nothing ventured, nothing gained, no loss. Yeah. Now, it turned out I put the game down after maybe 10 or 15 hours, but because I bought the game at its, whatever it was, 50 quid, I wanted to really give it a go.
Yeah.
And it turned out, for me, it wasn't it.
Yeah.
But if it had come to me for $1, I never would have got that far into it and seen how much interesting stuff was in there and then decided, it's not for me.
Yeah.
So,
and I can see how some people would see that as a good thing. It's sort of like Game Pass is kind of seen as risk-free gaming, where like you've barely put any money into it, and you could try something.
Free.
Exactly. And unfortunately, that risk does support gaming and whatnot, and that's
also
why
you can return stuff. You buy the game.
Stuff. Reviews also help and stuff. That's why all these systems are put in place to protect you, to give you the best chance of finding a game that you will vibe with. That's what that's all about. Our boy Diogo writes in. He says,
"Oh, this freaking guy!
This fucking guy!" In response to, can Sony do anything to ruin the success of PlayStation 5? He goes, if they keep up the shitty business practices, he says, there are people like this that think all of these articles that come out are shitty business practices. And I'm like, I can see how they've been spun, and some of them are like questionable and stuff like that. I don't think any of them are too bad to be called shitty. However, it's not affecting anything. He goes, shitty business practices, like you mentioned above in my post, I can see their popularity decreasing and the anger to grow. The SSD slot, because I mentioned the SSD slot being locked since launch, is going to be in the next update. The beta 2 allowed testers to use certain SSDs, which I did buy an SSD, by the way.
I saw,
it's like 1 terabyte, super, super fast thing. I managed to find it for 80 quid.
That's not bad.
It's 100 and 200 pounds normally. I found it for 80 quid. The only downside, it doesn't have a heatsink and I need to get one to put on it. Right. But they're like 5 quid. They're nothing expensive.
But why do you pick up another one? I need storage.
It was a fucking it was like an Amazon warehouse thing. It was like they just had one lying around. And I was like, yes, I'll get that one then.
By the way,
it was Amazon Germany as well. Amazon Germany warehouse.
For the record, I suspect that the reason they had that slot locked is they wanted to see if, with the huge speed increase of the PS5, if just deleting games and uploading the next one was enough. Because if like, yeah, it's not a huge amount of space, but if the speed to just get it back on and off is fast enough, it doesn't matter. You just juggle. And then I think they've realized, no, people do want 20 games on there.
From the like USB-C SSD that I've got, it's quite quick. It's a little bit of a wait, but I think it's quite completely fair. However, I think it's actually more simple than that. I think they don't want the PS5 to get hacked, and that's a vector.
That's a solid point.
I think that's it. Ever since, because the Vita was notorious for being hacked.
They broke that thing in like 2 months.
And I know in Sony they were regretting it, and that's the only reason why the Vita died. Otherwise, it would be here to this day.
Bring back the Vita.
Bring it back, boys. Diogo continues to say, he says, on a different note, though, what are we counting as success? All game companies are targeting different areas of success. Sony with the exclusives.
Yeah.
Xbox with Game Pass. Nintendo, they are Nintendo. Peasant units.
Peasants,
Peasants, that's what they're targeting. So the only way I can see Sony not succeeding is if people slowly stop buying their games, but I doubt that will happen. I'm not sure if it'll be an easy thing to judge in comparison with other companies. It's a good point because other things are...
Is it a good point?
Go on.
Because if I'm on Game Pass, I'm not buying your games. I'm on Game Pass. They come in day and date.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not buying your games. Do you see
that's the thing. It's all about what I mean. That's what I think. That's what he means when he says different. You can't compare them because they're on like different scales. Because a Game Pass doesn't care about the games that you're buying; they care about the subscriptions. Whereas PlayStation do care about the games you're buying. Well, that's the thing; they're making money in a different way. But is it enough money?
Loss, they're making money with higher costs.
That's the thing.
So they're making money, but it's less than what it costs to get you and the games and.
If we, again, this is why I love the details and the analysis. If we had all the numbers, the actual numbers, then we can sit down and we can extrapolate. We can say, PlayStation made this much from this. That's the value. Xbox made this from this service, but it produced this number. Right. If that number's greater, then that's a plus.
But here's the thing. Phil Spencer is in his home in the basement with a spliff and a beer crying because there's a reason Xbox doesn't give us the numbers. They have them. It's not like those are the numbers Xbox have produced. They know exactly. They know what games you're playing. They know when you're playing them, what time of day, for how long. They know.
There is one number that we can point to as well. There is, I think it was recently, it was to do with this financial quarter. It's like PlayStation produced 20.6 billion in revenue and whatnot. And Xbox was something like 12 point something, whatever it is. It's like, Microsoft's like $1 trillion company, and PlayStation's a $200 billion company, and that's how much money they're. Anyway,
proportionate to the company, massive difference. Proportionate to the size of the division. The aliens came down and we were cavemen, right? Like Sony's in their alien spaceship and you're smashing rocks together, trying to make a spark, right? Like that's Xbox. But just to get back to Diego's comment, he said about them competing, they're targeting different parts of the market. They don't have a market. They're losing money, and I do think as we're seeing Sony's numbers, that the argument, the reason we don't have the Xbox numbers is because they don't want to say, is getting more and more compelling. Right? They absolutely know. They're not telling us because they are and they by the way, I understand the business model is to lose money up to 50 million subscriptions, but they're not getting there. They're not growing anywhere near enough. Like they're being far outpaced. Their value proposition has very little value in it for most people. Don't get me wrong, backwards compatibility is great. A lot of people want to play old games, but not enough, and they're not willing to spend any money on it. Like
that's it.
We're having Xbox and Sony compete here, right? Or Microsoft and Sony compete here, and Microsoft is losing. Now, Xbox and how you play it, that maybe you love it, but like they don't compete. I feel like this is really rough.
With the backwards compatibility thing you said, Joe Tiny Man 2 writes in and he says, I believe that Xbox's business model is a lot more powerful in regards to Game Pass. The fact that they provide backwards compatibility for their past gen consoles and have Game Pass, which is good for low income families as well. The main reason people choose Sony is the exclusives, which have been decent. They are Oh, they are dependent, he's supposed to say, on bringing out good games, whereas Microsoft are dependent on supplying Game Pass, which is much easier.
But again, so I take the low cost of gaming, right? So if you're a lower income family and you still want a game, which I get that, right? Entertainment. Although the secondhand market exists, you can still get old games for like PS4 that your PS5 would run. But like you said, Xbox is dependent on supplying these games, but Game Pass is losing money. Do you see what I mean? Like, it's on paper, like I kind of get what you, but if we only look at what you said, yeah, it makes sense. But if we unravel it, like they're not competing models. One loses money, one makes money. So Sony isn't dependent on bringing out great games. They make money by bringing out great games. Xbox, you're saying it's dependent on Game Pass, but they're funding Game Pass. Like, they're losing money to get you on there, and they're not getting the growth. And this isn't meant to be like beefing out Xbox as a business. I don't. Xbox seems to be doing, if not everything wrong, just a bunch of stuff that isn't really working for what they're trying to achieve. And Sony has found a recipe which is very obvious to everyone. They've even published stuff on it, and Xbox has done case studies on it, and then chosen not to follow the recipe.
Yep.
If you take like restaurants, it's not like there's only one restaurant that sells steak and there's only one restaurant that sells burgers, right? Restaurants sell steak and burgers and whatever, right? And then they compete on the quality or the cost. But they have to make money. McDonald's is very cheap, but they make money, right? McDonald's is kind of the Game Pass of this. But where McDonald's makes money, Game Pass doesn't. And there's an argument to be had about like a McDonald's burger versus like a gourmet burger. I think if that was the argument, if Game Pass was McDonald's and Sony was like, The Last of Us 2 was a gourmet burger, now we got a discussion. What do you want? And I would understand Game Pass. I'd be totally for it.
Yeah.
But Game Pass doesn't make any money. It's hurting the developers. Diogo said, "Well,
it's not actually hurting it at the moment because they're paying them. They're paying the money that's required.
How long are they going to do that for?
Exactly, but for how long? And then also
because Game Pass doesn't push Xboxes.
That's a good point. And the evidence is that they're with the sales numbers. And crucially, I'll say if for you guys, but I think it's when.
Yeah.
If Xbox Game Pass goes away, then you're just left with people who feel like games aren't worth this much.
Right.
And that's when it's going to start hurting people.
They say, okay, guys, we're going to get rid of Game Pass, or we're going to do the Game Pass Plus.
Yeah.
Here's Banjo-Kazooie, but it's $70 or $50. I'm not going to pay it. I'll wait until it's $1. Well, we can't recoup the cost of producing this.
I want to bring up a tweet from James. On the Four Pillars Network tweeted out saying, wondering what everyone's console preference is. It says, I feel like the answer will be obvious, but could be wrong. Let us know. And massively skewed to PlayStation. Out of 1,000 votes, it was 65% PlayStation, right?
Yeah.
And 30% Xbox and 5% Switch. Then James tweets it and he says, currently my main console is Xbox, and it's shocking to say the least.
I play a Game Pass game every night.
Chill! It almost sounds like that, right?
Yeah.
He goes, their support of old games plus PlayStation 5's lack of exclusives means my PlayStation 5 is collecting dust at the moment. Could completely change in the next 12 months though. And it made me think as well, because I was like, the support of old games is one thing.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, especially at the beginning of generations, that's an important thing to people because not a lot of new stuff to play and you've got a ton of old stuff you can play. That's a big draw. However, after a while, that importance sort of dissipates after a while because then you've got new things to play.
As the new generation games start to take over, there's less focus on like your Red Dead Redemptions and like Red Dead Redemption 3 or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he says lack of PlayStation exclusives. There's been infinitely more PlayStation exclusives than there are Xbox exclusives. But still, this isn't even a point to take away from PlayStation, as is evidence, because I thought it would have been PlayStation's backwards compatibility at the beginning was awful, and everyone was saying Xbox is amazing because you can play any game ever on Xbox, whereas PlayStation, you can't play many games, and even some games are a gamble and whatnot, and how am I going to get my saves on them, and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, this could be a big point of contention. However, the proof is that, again, even that couldn't stop the PlayStation 5's success.
The thing is, and here is one of the things, the best... So, okay, here in my opinion, is why this tweet makes sense to James, but not if you look at it like top down. Like if you take a real bird's eye look at it, because the best Xbox titles are old. The best Xbox titles, I don't care what you have to say, the best are 2 generations ago. It's everything from the 360, and then a few good ones from the Xbox One, but nothing that was enough to get me to buy an Xbox One, by the way.
I said it, and I felt like it was a bold claim at the time, but no one corrected me in correcting Conbrosations. Yeah. I said, I don't think there was a single game of consequence on the Xbox One.
There wasn't. Maybe, I was going to say medium, but hardly anyone liked that.
And even that's now moving over to PlayStation.
Yeah, everybody's going to get that. And it was on Game Pass and that stuff. Yeah. So look, all the best games on Xbox are backwards compatible, i.e. they were made 10 to 15 years ago. All of them.
Yeah.
All of them. The best games on PlayStation were made in the PS4's life cycle so far. PlayStation plays PS4 games with no problem.
And I do love the hypocrisy that people don't point out, is that none of this backwards compatibility, this frame for FPS boost, and all this other stuff would even happen had the Xbox had games.
Yes.
If they had things looking forward to the future, they would be focused on the future and not worried about the past. It's only because they don't have anything that they have to focus on the past.
But just to summarize the bird's eye view, which is that, yes, the PS5 won't play PS3 games.
Yeah.
Most of them, unless they're specifically made. But like all the best stuff came out on the PS4 anyway, and it will play that. It doesn't need to go much further back than that. Also, and I still stick to this, there aren't that many people that want to play PS1 games. And the people that do want to play it on their PS1 on the CRTV. Like Harry. Like our friend is big into retro gaming. He doesn't want to play it on a PC, on an emulator. Yeah. He spends thousands of pounds on the old stuff to play it the way you played it.
God intended.
Right. So, I get it. The other side of that coin is, what exclusives are on the Xbox again, James? And I'm not beefing out James, it's just because he happened to write the tweet. But like, on the Series X, what are the exclusives that have come out?
I was tempted to write
because there's at least Ratchet and Clank. Come on, there's at least Ratchet and Clank. That's infinitely more. 1 is infinitely more than 0.
I was tempted to write something, but it is a tweet. So how much can you fit in a tweet? And also
make it a 15 chain beefing.
We've been speaking for 50 minutes just on this topic alone, so it's like, how can you defend yourself? So I left it, because if you're bringing up that point, it's funny because Xbox just doesn't have anything and whatnot. Now, I think we've landed on the area that I don't see genuinely a way for PlayStation to lose control of this steaming train that they've got going on already. Even the momentum they have now should be enough to propel them at least 2 years into the future, where even if there was a mishap now, it will be easily recouped by the next thing in 2 years' time.
Seems that way.
I don't see a way for them
to... They'll have to CDPR it. And the problem with CDPR, there are other fish in the ocean with CDPR. There are other games out there. There's nowhere else to go.
There might be someone actually that said, look what happened to CDPR. Yeah. And my argument to that would be, they are one person on one car in a lane of millions of other cars.
Right.
And if you spin out, you are going to cause a huge accident. Whereas PlayStation is a train on a train track. If a bit of luggage falls out, it doesn't matter too much.
Right. They're the only one in the race.
Yeah.
They're the only one in the race. Doesn't matter if they stumble. If they do a CDPR, where else can you go? Yeah. At the minute, nowhere. I would love to see that change. Because again, I said it a million times, I want a strong Xbox. I want Xbox to come out with bangers, like a real, and when I say a real, I mean like back in the old days, Halo, Fable, like, because it's going to ensure Sony continues to do what they do, and that means I get my great Sony titles, but it also means I can go back and play Halo, because I want to freaking play Halo. I'm jonesing for some Halo. But right now, they could stumble and do nothing. There's nothing else out there, right? Yeah. And this is the worrying scenario, because now what if they get lazy? What if they get lazy? What if they say, oh, you know what, God of War's, it's okay, yeah, it's ready, but let's delay it a little bit, no worries. And we don't want any complaints, because make Atreus a girl and gay and black and put him her in a wheelchair because we want to tick all these boxes because, you know, some people on Twitter. Well, the audience won't like it. First of all, bigot, you don't know. And second of all, what else are they going to play? That's why I want Halo. That's why I want Fable. Yeah. That's why I want Starfield. I'm never going to play Starfield or whatever it is, but I want a strong Xbox, because otherwise Sony can start messing with stuff and just, hey, let's try this. I know, it wouldn't have worked before, but maybe it would work now. Well, no. You just make your great stories, right? Just make your great stories. But if they don't have to compete, if there's no competition, then whatever they make is a great story.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I think that's where we're landing. I'd love to hear what people are thinking in the chat. Write down in your comments below as well. It'd be interesting to read that out as well.
PSVR 2, because we mentioned it as like another thing to why they can't lose. Some stuff came out, but I forgot to read it.
Shall I move on to that next topic then? I think that was what we was going to talk about next. Let's put that in here now anyway. So, PSVR 2, I haven't got the article up, so you're going to have to give me a second.
I just want to quickly summarize that whole last thing. I know everybody's going to say, oh, you're Sony ponies. We're actually not, although we are at the minute singing their praises. We don't really care where we go. We're really Nintendo fanboys. Exactly. And you're an idiot if you don't know that. You're a fucking fool. But I don't care about Sony, really. I don't care. It's just where I've gone because they're the people that are serving me best, right? I went here because they give me the best products. So get fucked. We're not Sony ponies. I want a strong Xbox, but they're shitting the bed.
Yeah.
Anyway, PSVR 2.
PSVR 2. A few more details came out about it. Really, the code name for it, they're calling it NGVR, which is Next Gen VR.
Yeah, PSVR 2, yeah.
They give a few more details about it. It's going to have a HDR OLED screen inside it.
Yeah, that's actually pretty dope.
2000 by 2000 pixels per eye, which is really damn high resolution.
That's a lot. That's 4K.
A field of view is 100.
That is 4K. Yeah.
A field of view of 110 degrees, which is wide. It's more than the PSVR 2.
Yeah.
The PSVR 1, sorry. Controllers will be packaged with each of the headsets. So you won't have to do the situation that we do now where you buy the controller separately. Yeah. It will all be built in. It will have haptics, as we noted before, in the helmet as well, which apparently reduces motion sickness and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which is quite cool. I guess it's like if you're moving, it will try and feel like you're dragging or something like that, which I guess.
Because motion sickness thing, mainly in racing games and stuff, but that was big for me. By the way, I just double checked because I thought 110 degrees sounded pretty good. Yeah. Human field of view is 135.
Oh.
So 110 is here, which, by the way, one of those weird things you just happen to know. Outside of that, you don't have color. It's all grey there.
Oh.
Yeah, your brain here, if you look at stuff right at the edge, your brain's filling in the blank. You don't actually have the ability to see color there.
I don't actually see color anyway, so...
I just don't view the world that way?
I don't view the world that way. But everything's just grey to me, okay?
110 degrees is pretty massive. I thought that sounded like a lot. Yeah. That's pretty freaking huge.
Apparently, we're going to get launch details on when this thing's going to be coming out in early 2022. Guessing there'll be a state of play or something like that. And we'll get all the big details.
Give me that tech demo. Let's do a deep dive.
That would be fucking great. Oh, God. Mark Sony, get out here.
Phil Spencer, who?
Importantly, they're not going to be focusing...
Ooh.
It looks really nice, right? They're not going to be focusing on dedicated VR games as such. There still will be, but what they're going to lean more towards, Sony are saying, are hybrid games, a bit like Resident Evil, where they had Resident Evil the game and there's a VR mode inside it where you can play the game in VR,
right,
and Hitman and stuff like that, which I think would be quite cool. They did shout out games like The Last of Us and Horizon Forbidden West. I don't know what they're planning to do with that. Maybe they've already got VR in mind and how to play that game in VR or something like that. But that's what they're saying. I'm very interested to see what that's like. I do prefer the idea because PSVR games by themselves are hard to sell.
Yes.
First of all, you have to... people to buy PSVR, and then you have to go, all right, now buy this little game. I don't know if I'm going to like it. Whereas if people go out and they go, oh, Resident Evil, that got like a 9 out of 10 on so-and-so, I'm going to buy that. Oh, it works with my PSVR too. No problem, and that's great, and it's already there.
If you make it like an option where it's like 60 FPS, ray tracing, VR. Yeah. Oh, I think I'll go with VR.
Yes.
You're right. Then that makes a lot more sense. Then now suddenly VR is going to grow so much faster.
Exactly. Yeah. And also it stops this thing from going, well, while there is a pro to making a game dedicated for VR and going in there because it's tailor-made for it, then it stops being like, okay, this is a VR game though. But this is
right.
People, we love to play just normal single player games and stuff like that. And then if you go, okay, we're going to give you a game, but it's not what you know. It's not what you like. It's not the thing that you're used to. Then it sort of immediately cuts off a bunch of people.
VR feels like sort of 5 or 10 years ago, you know, if you were a TV actor, couldn't really make it in movies. And you were a movie actor, you never did TV.
Yes.
Same sort of thing. Like, it's a VR game, though. It's not a real game. It's VR. It's a little thing. It's like 3 hours long. One question, though.
Yes.
Which is something that I could totally see myself doing.
Yeah.
If I'm playing as freaking Aloy, right? And I go to like jump and roll out of the way from the thing. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to stick my head through a window. I'm going to go, Hua!
We have to record you every time you play VR.
I'm going to get freaking destroyed.
You're going to be like those... do you know what?
I'm going to come into work all beaten up and bruised. What happened? Dinosaurs.
I tried to roll away from a walker. Did you ever see those fail videos of people in VR?
Yes. The mechanic one always gets me, where the guy's like trying to lean into the car engine bay and just...
The ones that get me are the really stupid ones, where people are like, they're walking and they go, go towards that door over there. And then they run full pelt in real space. And I'm like... I can't even begin to ask the question of how you had that happen.
Yeah.
Did you move at all before this to try to get in?
Is this your first day walking? Are you an alien?
Walking at all? I'm like, you're not in the world. You know that, right? And then they always, for some reason, they always head towards the TV.
Yes,
I always head towards the TV.
It's weird. I think one of the really interesting things that will happen that will make VR good will be AI.
Oh, yeah?
This is like, we'll be dead, but
be long after
if like the PSVR 5, if the camera looks at the room that you've got and there's an AI in there that can map out where you would need to move and how it can present the map, and then just it like how it would have, so in Halo you had the Forge where you could edit maps, you could like stretch things and add walls and stuff, where it goes, okay, this is the space, this is how much place they have to move, this is the encounter they've got. For that space, let me like...
You're talking about the bath technology from Spider-Man.
The what?
Bath technology.
Oh, yeah.
The Jake Gyllenhaal's technology that got named Bath by Tony Stark. That stuff. Because it was all just like a grey set.
Yeah.
And then it applied loads of stuff to it. Basically like that.
I was thinking back to...
I think it's a HTC Vive. One of those ones has a... Well, basically, wherever you put the cameras, because you put them in 4 corners, it makes like a box.
Yeah.
And then when you get close to the corner, it tells you... Oh.
I remember back to... I can't remember whose birthday I think it was, but we went to that VR shooting thing.
Yeah.
And the way they do that is it's one linear map, and they have paths in there, so they know as long as the groups are on these paths, they'll be in separate sections of the room, right?
Yeah.
But... They know the room. The map's built to the room that you're in.
Yeah.
And obviously people's homes are going to be different, so that's what I was getting at. But VR is going to be cool.
Yeah.
I'm totally going to put my face to a TV though. Or throw up.
Let's move over to our next topic. Horizon Forbidden West might be delayed to 2022.
It's cool, man. God of War. What are you talking about?
Don't worry about it. We got God of War. Oh, wait, that's gone as well. So this isn't actually an official report yet. It's a rumor still that Sony are maybe considering moving it to 2022. This was this was known before.
Yeah.
Like PlayStation said, we're aiming for 2021. However, things might slip.
Yes.
And they were totally upfront about it. So I personally wasn't too shocked by this. However, gaming Twitter has been like, well,
we told you.
That's the end of that then, isn't it? Yeah. Sony has crashed and burned. They may as well close up shop. And there's absolutely nothing they can do about it.
We told you, Sony sucks. They don't like you. Come join us on Game Pass. There's enough Xboxes out there. You might have to get an S. But you can come join us and play nothing.
How do you feel about Horizon Forbidden West being possibly delayed to 2022?
I will be honest with it. The idea that it was coming out in 2021.
Yeah.
I was like, I can see the time frame. I can see it fitting. So it's 4 years with already some old assets. I think it's somehow we've forgotten just how big of a disruption 2020 was.
Yeah.
So the idea that it's coming out 2022, not surprising at all.
Yeah.
I'm actually shocked that they said, it's still coming out 2020, even when you can work from home, was too big of a disruption.
Yeah.
Also, thinking about that, how the frick did they sell 10 million units of PlayStations?
Just can't stop the PS5, bro. You just can't stop the PS5.
But, I'm not surprised. I do hope that somebody realizes these delays are no good. People hate them. Just push out the release date and then come in early and say, you know what, guys? No crunch and stuff. We actually got it done early.
I'm actually a big fan of not announcing games too early.
Yeah.
You need to really, 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 really be sure. I know that there's a lot of outside influences, like we have to get out for investors. We have to pad out our portfolio.
Don't worry. Like I think selling 22 million consoles in 14 months will do it.
That's the thing, man. I mean, okay, you didn't announce it for this.
So many.
You didn't announce it for this financial quarter.
Yeah.
When it does come out, though, you think that's not going to bump your stock prices?
Right. Come on. Stupid.
Anyway, what do you think that will? But do you think it will have any consequence because Halo's going to be coming out this year?
Yeah, and that wasn't delayed.
Well, that was delayed already one, but I'm saying like if Halo is coming out, it's basically leaving it wide open for Xbox.
Xbox needs it.
Do you think it will have any sort of effect, any negative effect?
Well, on PlayStation, no. Why would it? First of all, let's say Halo Infinite is what I would like it to be. Great, let it shine on its own. Let it do its thing. Let it. The Xbox are going to run with it like it's the next coming of Jesus, right? But like, let Xbox bring something out because next year, Horizon and God of War most likely are coming. Ghost of Tsushima 2 we're gonna see footage for it. If it's not ready next year, it'll be ready in 23.
Yeah,
like there's a freaking bloodbath coming, and if Halo Infinite is great, let's give it the best chance it could possibly have, right? To hopefully get Xbox back in the race, and to show them that look, when you make something good and listen to what people want, that it performs.
Rewarded, yeah.
Right. Although it won't because they killed it because it'll be on Game Pass. But forget that. Also, if it flops, which I really hope it doesn't, but if it flops, let it flop on its own. Because I really think, and this will be hard for the Xbox to get away from, because they're gonna if it bangs, which I really want it to, they're like, oh look, see, there's no reason to get a PlayStation. But if it fails, and there's nothing else to talk about, all there is to talk about is how bad this is,
yes,
and how there's nothing good to play on Xbox.
Terrible. That'd be terrible.
Let's rub it in. I want Halo Infinite to rub it in, whether it's good or bad.
Yeah.
Give it its time to shine. Or really just explode in front of all of our eyes.
Yeah.
Hopefully it shines. God, I want it to shine so bad. I want it to be good. And what people don't understand is Halo is not a multiplayer shooter. Even though that's the biggest section of it. If the story sucks, the game sucks. End of. This isn't Battlefront. This isn't Call of Duty. This isn't Battlefield. I'm sorry. It's not Call of Duty. It needs the campaign to bang. Absolutely bang.
Diogo writes in, he says, well, Schreierman did say he heard that Horizon Forbidden West is now early 2022, so I'm expecting it to happen. Not surprised, to be honest. But he says, since you mentioned Xbox, I'm not even sure that Halo will come out this year, either considering we haven't seen a single player, anything from the single player in ages outside of that short cutscene.
Yeah.
Very good point. And it
True.
still says holiday 2021. So not just like Horizon Forbidden West, it says holiday. We don't know.
Holidays generally anywhere from like early October to December.
Yeah.
So that's a 3-month period.
And the fact that we're months away from the beginning of that is very telling that there's something going on. He goes, I can see the multiplayer coming out, though. The multiplayer is supposed to be free to play, so I can see that coming out standalone.
Yeah.
2022 is going to be, in terms of gaming, do be looking very sick, though. He's very right on that one right there. Joe again writes in, and he says, considering Halo Infinite has been in the oven for a while and looks sick, I'm sure it will be a good game. I was thinking as well, I did say on this podcast, I do have a good feeling about Halo. I do have a good feeling. I don't know I can't judge Halos because I haven't played them before, but I have a good feeling for them. The story did get leaked recently. Yes, it did.
Yeah.
Apparently it got leaked. I haven't seen anything from it.
I'm staying away from it, man.
You gotta. The story did get leaked recently, but I believe it was quickly taken down and removed.
That's how the internet works.
Yeah, there's no way of archiving anything that was on the internet. Did you hear how it got leaked, by the way?
No.
So the multiplayer, one of the updates on one of the days, apparently just had single player
content in it.
God damn it. And I'm like, for fuck's sake.
I just want to say one thing. The Last of Us 2 fully leaked like 3 months before the game came out. Fully leaked. And based on the reaction of people to that, it looked like the game was going to be trash.
Yeah.
It wasn't trash.
Yeah.
So even no matter what it says, whether good or bad, I don't care. I will wait until I play the game.
Your opinion on the day is going to be what matters.
Right, I need to play the game.
The multiplayer looks fantastic. To counter Diogo, though, I do believe the single player will be great. Is there any particular reason why? And we're getting a great game by the end of the year. They have Joseph Staten on the game, and he wrote most of the Bungie.
The original 1 through 3, and maybe a Reach as well, I think.
Yeah, he spelled Bungie, Bunjgie. I'm not trying to throw shade at you because my spelling shit as well.
Yeah, I love you. You're like, right? You spelled something wrong.
But I was proper like Bunjunji,
Bunjunji.
It's like that. And he put in brackets however you spell it.
Bunjunji. It's Jumanji.
Bujunji.
No.
Bujunji. Anyway, thank you for writing in, Joe. That's really awesome. Read any more comments here. Someone else did write something about.
Yeah, I saw there was definitely one comment.
Here we go. T working on a sheddy hentai. He wrote, he goes, I'm happy about the Horizon Forbidden West delay. I was even getting on Twitter that Sony should announce it before the rumors started. I can finally catch up on Miles Morales and Mass Effect, and having a blast so far with the PS5. It's unstoppable because he got his one recently, didn't he?
Yeah, really recently.
Yeah, love it.
Miles Morales, man.
Oh, so good.
Such a good game.
Did you hear recently the stats that they put out?
No.
I'm going to read the stats because...
You mean of a PlayStation game on a dead console, dead generation? It can't compete. It doesn't have Game Pass, man. Who even cares? Why even bother?
Here we go. Insomniac. I'm going to their page. They posted something. Here we go. Okay. So they posted some stats
The fact that they made that and then Ratchet and Clank.
These guys are masters. They put out some stats on game time and stuff they've done in the game of Miles Morales. Just Miles Morales.
Yeah.
11,000 years of playtime.
Oh, yeah, I did see that one, yeah.
Absolutely, man. 7 billion plus enemies have been defeated.
Damn.
Billion. 190 million plus crimes have stopped.
Yeah.
244 million collectibles have been collected.
Yeah.
That was all me for my platinum trophy.
Only one guy ruined that intro scene.
You son of a bitch. 777 million Venom smashes.
Damn.
149 million finishers used. 9 million Bogear cat suits equipped. There's one cat suit that you can get after doing one of these missions. And 62 million subway rides.
Do you know what I want to know?
Yes.
How many million miles of wrist jizz have been shot?
It's like we've got 18 billion miles of wrist jizz.
Or web, in parentheses, web.
If you want to call it that.
Right.
Anyway, I saw those stats and I just saw 11,000 years of...
I mean, people, I think as well, people don't really understand how recently these games have come out and how incredibly they've performed. They're doing in gaming what the PlayStation 5 is doing for consoles, right? Miles Morales and Ghost of Tsushima are two that they sold incredibly well. The completion rate is insane. The finish rate, I mean, people don't understand how many people don't finish games. It's a lot. Most people that played these games finished them. Most of those people completed it.
Yeah.
I think
is that compelling?
Both of those are two of the highest platinum games of all time. Yeah. They're young as hell, right? There are games that have had 10 years that they have more platinums than like The Last of Us, which is one of the best games ever made, and people know this, right? One of the best stories.
Yeah,
that's 8 9 years old now.
Yeah, 9 years old.
And these games in the space of like a year and a half, mind-boggling.
It is mind-boggling. To answer the question as well, because you did so graciously hand it back to me as a good host.
What was the question?
About the Horizon Forbidden West and whether or not it's going to make a difference.
We got way off topic. Bro, Horizon Forbidden West, do you think the delays are going to make any issue?
Do you know, I actually don't think it will make any...
Oh, really?
So I don't mind that it's been delayed. Honestly, I don't know if I'm the only one in this, but Ratchet & Clank came out like last month, right? Was it last month?
It was really recent.
Really recently. It's not been too long. Fall is traditionally when there's a lot of third-party games that come out.
It's a lull for exclusives,
stuff, right? Because there's going to be a lot of third-party stuff that comes out. There's already...
11th of June, so a month and a half.
Exactly.
6 weeks.
Kenna Bridge of Spirits is coming out.
Is it though?
It got delayed to September.
Oh, yeah,
so
cool.
1 month, not too much, but I was like, oh, thank God. Kenna Bridge of Spirits, I wrote down a tweet recently, and I can't remember any of the other games that come out.
There's a bunch.
12 Minutes is coming out. Halo Infinite's coming out in so hopefully that sometime this holiday. Yeah. And a bunch of other games that I listed in this thing, and I saw
that tweet.
Yeah, can you find my tweet?
I'll have a look.
Thank you so much. And I only listed just a couple there. Back for Blood is one of them as well. All of these great games. I don't see the next 6 months as such a bad thing to not have a Sony exclusive. I don't know if I'm the only one in this whole thing.
I just saw Isla's roasted chicken sleepy thing. God damn it.
I took a picture this morning. She was so cute. So cute.
Sorry, continue. I
tweet a lot. I'm so sorry.
You do. It's quite fun.
Yeah. It was just text, I think. So there you go.
Yeah, keep going. Just keep talking.
I don't see the next 6 months not having an exclusive Sony game as such a big deal. I would, if this was a question of, the early impressions are in over Horizon Forbidden West and it does not look good, then I would be a bit more worried, because then it's like the next Sony game for at least the foreseeable future, because we don't have anything else, looks bad.
Yeah.
What games did I say?
You had 12 Minutes, Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut, Death Stranding Director's Cut, Back for Blood, Battlefield 2042, Halo Infinite, Pokemon.
7 games right there within the next 6 months. That's more.
By the way, two of those PlayStation exclusives.
Yes.
One is an Xbox exclusive. Pokemon's into 2 Xbox exclusives. Weirdly, because I already know I'm gonna love Ghost of Tsushima. Like, spoiler alert. So like, I'm almost not excited for that, because I know I already like it.
Yeah.
But 12 Minutes, which is, I don't even have an Xbox. It's a game that I'm really curious about.
Yeah.
Again, not my normal thing. No swords, no guns.
Exactly. Even if I take out the 2 technically re-releases there, Ghost of Tsushima and
look, 12
Death
Minutes, Back for Blood, 2042, Halo Infinite, and Pokemon. That's still 4 potentially bangers.
Yes, so many still good games. And when people say, well, Horizon Forbidden West isn't coming, I'm like,
who cares?
Oh no.
Gasp.
I'm going to have nothing to play.
Right.
Granted, I get some people trying to go, well, is this bad for Sony? I don't really think so. When it
have
comes
you seen 22?
People are not going to play any. People are going to be playing other games that can be completely fine. And then when this game comes out, and if it turns out to be great, that's another thing. And then it's just going to be great from then on, you know?
Right.
That's just what it is. And then we've got God of War coming shortly after that. And then God knows when The Last of Us remake is going to come out, and I bet that's going to look amazing at least.
God, I'm so worried about the game, because I freaking love The Last of Us.
It's taking perfection and then going, let's mess with it.
I think we can make this better.
Let's do it.
What I'm really worried about is some douchebag suit went, here's perfection, just slam a glitter bomb on it. Just make it shinier. And that's more shiny. And more shiny is more shiny.
More is more.
And that's more than less shiny, so therefore it'll be better.
There we go. If you ruin our games, goddammit.
But look, I mean, there's nothing to play.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I get that it's technically a re-release, but those 2 games, even though they're director's cuts and there's extra money involved, like, these are 2 very beloved games.
Yeah.
That's something to play. Also, and I'm serious, I want Halo not in a vacuum. I want it to have the spotlight.
Yeah.
Let's see. Because if they do it wrong, I can finally take a list of all of the 343 devs and just make sure they know. You know?
Look, I made Sucker Punch know that it's not right to do what they've
Next
done.
topic.
Next topic, good sir. Did I hit that button? Yes.
Edworth, please intro this topic and we shall discuss.
Guys, Ghost of Tsushima Legends is getting a free update for everybody who has Ghost of Tsushima.
Yes, I've received many a tweet about
I'm gonna read first of all to highlight this, what's going on in this.
Please
directly from the PlayStation blog post. And it says, last October we launched Ghost of Tsushima Legends for the very first time. Online multiplayer project to the studio, which expanded the gameplay of Ghost of Tsushima into the supernatural world inspired by Japanese mythology. And say your support and enthusiasm blew us wildest expectations out of the water is an understatement. We loved seeing your reactions to photo modes for the past 10 months. Yada yada yada. And he goes, within just 2 weeks to go of the director's cut of a Ghost of Tsushima, we want to talk more about what's coming next for Legends. As always, just like the Legends content, every update detailed below will be available for no additional cost for all owners of Ghost of Tsushima on PS4 and PS5.
But there's nothing to play on, PlayStation. I'm sorry.
With no director's cut purchase required. Key point for everybody out there who complained about the $10 upgrade. They're giving you all this for free. Anyway, we then go on. First today, we're excited to reveal Rivals, an all-new mode.
This sounds interesting.
An all-new mode coming to Ghost of Tsushima Legends on September 3rd, including trophies and cosmetics. In Rivals, 2 teams of 2 will compete to defeat waves of enemies. With each defeating foe, you will collect Magatama. I think that's what
I can't see the word, so
I think it's called Magatama right here. Correct Conbrosations, you can write that in. That you can use to harm the other team. For example, you can spend Magatama on shades to block the opponent's purchases, curses to drain health and explode bodies, Hawacha fire, and more. Once you spent enough Magatama, I love
listening to you try and say Japanese words.
Hawacha. Once you spent the Magatama, you unlocked final stand waves, completing these before the opposing teams to win. That's basically the game. There goes into a few more details, which I'm not going to read, but there's all kinds of mastery challenges. You get more gear and stuff like that. Now, sir, Mr. Ghost of Tsushima himself, does this satisfy your cries you've been crying for months? For 1v1 duels. Look, you're playing against other people.
Absolutely not. Get fucked. Are you kidding? What? Just salt in the wound and then spit in my face. Like, what how dare you? How dare you? I wasn't gonna, because I thought, like, tweeting the company Twitter is one thing. Tweeting the devs, that's kind of a douche move. Tough.
You earned it.
I am actually going to tweet the lead. I'll find whichever is the appropriate guy for what I'm interested in. And I want an actual freaking response from a human being that tells me why. One, have they ever considered this? Because this is a bullshit. This is some bullshit. Bullshit. Don't get me wrong. If this had come out before my cries for 1v1 duels.
Yeah.
As like an additional thing, it's not exactly PvP because those 2 teams never come into contact, right? Like they go and beef out the PvE enemies, the AI, and then can do stuff to hinder the other team. I need a human being to frickin' tell me why. Has it ever been considered? If so, why was it? Which idiot shut it down? And why haven't they done it? And I'm also going to let them know that I have done the work and the thinking about this to know. For example, because a lot of people don't realize, just going to do my quick pitch here.
Go ahead.
Most of the stuff for what I'm calling for is in the game, right? Jin already has a hitbox that we can use. The AI can hit you. There's no reason that another player couldn't use that same hitbox and they. Yeah? The duels, when you do them in the game, are instanced. It loads in a different map. That's one of the reasons you get that cutscene on the PS4, because it's loading in an instance of that same area. You cannot leave the duel when you start it. So you're in an instance. So we have our maps.
Yeah.
And then the last thing is balancing. And people, I actually spoke to Rob, friend of the show. He was like, oh, this will be a ping nightmare, it'll be a server nightmare. I'm like, that's PvP. That is online gaming.
That's how it works.
So, good point. I don't care. Like, it's not in the discussion because that's how connecting to people online works.
If you want online, then that's one of the burdens of it.
Right. And so then it's like, well, what about balancing and character, like, customization? I came up with a pick 21. It could be anything. How about you beta test it as a weekend, one time only, try this out, and everybody gets just base Jin. There's like with the Heavenly Strike or something. That's all. The only extra move you get, you can't affect any stats. See how well that's liked. Let's do that, and then you can do my pick 21. Which, by the way, if you didn't see that tweet, I might pin that so you can see. I've actually thought about this. I thought about how, like, for example, the Dancer Wrath. That's 5 points, or maybe it was 7 points.
They gave you 2v2.
Actually, I'm going to find
not
it.
Duels,
you continue
rivals.
this podcast. No. Totally not okay.
What more do you want? Okay.
5v5 duels.
I have to say...
I'm not even joking. I want to see 5v5 duels.
Ghost of Tsushima Battle Royale, boys. Here we go.
And then 3 points for the... what's that bow? Uchitsune's bow with the exploding things.
Yeah.
And then 7 points if you want no friendly fire. Yeah. Yeah.
I got when I saw this. I was like, there's not 1v1 duels, but it's 2v2. And then it was.
Everyone read the title and sent it to me. I must have had like 50. I woke up to like 15 additional notifications because we get a few people tweeting us and atting us. Minimum 15 extra where they were like, bro, have you seen this? Oh my God, are you excited? Is this good enough for you, Sheps? Like, no. No, it's not. And then people, how dare you?
People corrected me. They were like, actually, it's not like duels. Like, it is PvP, but you're playing like against the E, and then it's not what you think.
Right.
Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I got a bunch of these. About 5 from you saying, Ships, would this be enough to shut you up? And I'm like, it would be if it was duels.
All right.
I hate it.
Can I talk a little bit about the price of this?
Yeah, please do.
Versus also the director's cut as well. So... This is available at no additional cost for all people who have Ghost of Tsushima right now, or people who are going to buy Ghost of Tsushima on PS5.
Yeah.
It is also available as a standalone, which is quite weird, I thought. What? They're making a standalone version of just Legends.
Okay.
For $20 or $15.99 if you want that.
Okay.
Which I don't know how many people are going to be like, I don't want the critically acclaimed single-player game. Right. I just want the multiplayer that I've barely heard anything about.
Yeah, yeah.
2 things I want to bring up.
Yeah.
1, does that now satisfy everybody who had a problem with the director's cut costing money for the update? Because... while they may have charged you for the PS5 upgrades for the haptics and stuff like that you may have had a problem with them,
which I would pay, but
regardless of whatever you believe and whatnot, this is content. This is stuff that you should really be paying for. This is an expansion, and they're giving it to you for free. So, does it balance it out then?
I'm going to rub people the wrong way. Forget. Let's just say in my ideal world that you also got duels and stuff, and I think that would probably be free. I think Legends mode needs microtransactions.
Oh God, don't say that. People are gonna get really angry with you now. I'm gonna back up. I'm gonna back up right here.
I'm
staying back.
I think
I'm not in this.
especially to make what I'm asking for, because duels is going to be a little bit more intensive. I would like to see a bunch of pay to play skins, basically Fortnite style, for skins, for the weapons, potentially the attack's the same, but the animation would be different. So like maybe you buy an awesome like sword set, right, where it looks different, and then your Heavenly Strike animation is different, you know?
Yeah,
stuff like that to incentivize the devs to continue to maybe bring out new maps, maybe bring out new story stuff, and to fund my frickin' duels.
Well, I have good news for you.
Yeah, we get to pay for this free mode?
I tell you it's good news. It's more of a theory.
Yeah.
The fact that they made this a standalone version of a game, a standalone portion of the game, makes me think that they're testing the waters.
I was going to say this as well, yeah.
To then make Ghost of Tsushima 2 and then Legends 2, wherever it's going to be, as a standalone
Battle Royale, guys!
Whatever they decide to make it, a multiplayer game.
I was going to say, I think making the Legends mode, it would be one way for them to see how many people would be willing to just play this and pay for it.
Yeah.
And the key for all you freaking Xbots, the and pay for it is your incentive to make it.
Yeah.
If it's $1,
I think if this turns out to be good, if there does turn out to be people that just...
Yeah.
Although I don't know who doesn't have Ghost of Tsushima and is interested in playing Ghost of Tsushima Legends, so it's a bit of a weird barometer to choose.
That is odd. However...
But if people do buy it...
Yeah.
Or because the only way that I see it happening is that maybe Legends becomes popular online, on like Twitch and stuff like that. And then other people see it and they go, oh, but I don't want to buy the whole game. I don't want to pay $70 for the PS5 version of Director's Cut.
Yeah.
Oh, I can just pay $20 and get the thing. Cool, no problem.
Do you know the funny thing?
And then it gives a good barometer, maybe.
And this kind of gets back to my Jules idea, is I could see Legends getting really popular if it was PvP, if it was like For Honor.
Yeah.
Because we know For Honor is very popular. It's actually got a very strong audience. They're relatively small compared to like Call of Duty, but the guys that play For Honor freaking love it. The skill involved in it is huge. Like,
I think it always looked cool as well.
It did look sick. Like, I could see that working. Because people, even things like League of Legends, it's army versus army. A lot of time it's the players fighting each other that people really want to see. They don't want to watch people dominate a map of computer AI.
Yeah.
Even if you can win that way, they would rather see the dudes beef it out.
Yeah.
Right?
You want that Street Fighter moment where you get the KO.
Right, absolutely. Except in my one, the guy's freaking head comes off and he does the weird sword flip. Did I send you that gif of the old Kurosawa movie? Yeah.
Say they both slice and then just fountains of blood come out.
Right. Slice nothing and then yeah. I want that. Again, look, you know, we were saying about microtransactions. If I could pay $1.99 or $2.99, whatever, for when I win a duel, for that animation to play. So let's say I take off the last of the HP. If that instantly then cuts this cutscene of that guy in his skin and my guy, my Jin or whatever mask, does the slash.
Yeah.
And then the pause and then the gout of blood. Right. I'd
love that.
Dudes, I'm telling you.
I hope this isn't just something that I've been hearing, but what is the one criticism you hear about Sony's lineup of games? Something they do and something that they don't have. I would say is that they have a heavy amount of third-person single-player games.
Yeah.
And not enough multiplayer games on their roster.
I mean...
This could be their way of getting into multiplayer, but not necessarily going down the FPS, compete with Call of Duty and Overwatch and stuff like that route.
Yeah.
But maybe, this was a great thing that people gravitate towards. They liked it. Let's actually dedicate a team to it. Let's put a budget behind it. Let's do that. And then maybe they have a multiplayer thing that's dedicated to them. And then this will be a way for Sony to revolutionize the multiplayer space as well.
Just because it's my pet idea, I worry that I'm like too into it. But I could see what I'm pitching working, right? Where you've got a 1v1 duels leaderboard, that's like your skill-based dudes. And then you take even the Legends maps, right? Maybe slightly condensed. Maybe you take something like one of the castles and you make it like King of the Hill. One team, like round 1, round 2, round 1 team A defends, round 2 team B defends. And it's like King of the Hill and it's 5v5 and then like in a For Honor sort of way. I could totally see that working with the microtransactions backing it for like your awesome skins. So you like, do you want to have Gosaku's armor or this sword or this animation for this movie? You know, stuff like that I'd pay for. People would pay for. I could see it working. It's a game that's been incredibly popular. And I do hope this leads to it. I am, however, and I could really use your guys' help finding, you just tell me who they are and I will just check the research. If you think there's someone at Sucker Punch I should be asking about this, don't get me wrong, there's a little bit of me that truly believes that I would ask this question and Sucker Punch will bring me on board because this is my baby.
Yeah.
But I don't care if I'm never mentioned, if they take it and say, oh, the guy that I tweeted, their incredible idea to make this thing, and it was, I don't care.
Because then you just get the pride of knowing that you made gaming better.
Yeah, I as long as I get the thing, I really don't care if they steal the credit.
There you go.
But I could use your help finding who are the right guys on the dev team. And for the record, I'm not going to harass them off the bat.
I'll give
about
them a bit.
About this. I'm going to be reasonable and ask, like, have you ever considered it? Was this ever discussed? Also, can I tag you in my tweets so you can see how I balance it? That kind of thing, right? But I do genuinely think there is space for this in multiplayer. Like 1v1 duels, I think people want to see the best of the best competing in this sort of high skill cap fight. That's what I think made the duels so fun in the game. In my opinion, they're the best thing in the game. Yeah. The best thing in the game by far is those duels because they were tough. And when you won, you're like, man, that was an achievement. You know, it took a few attempts. Vengeance. But also...
Inside joke from one of his streams.
But also, a 5v5 could totally work. And there's a ton of incredible stuff that they already have in the game, which all you'd need to do, it'd be hard work, would be to like instance it off. Like how about, fight for the Tory Gates or something. You take one of those mountain peaks and it's 5 guys have to defend it and 5 guys have to fight their way up in it.
They sound good. And the thing is that these could be ideas that they're having. And I do
bring me and Ed on board. The paycheck, it's reasonable.
Yeah.
It's reasonable.
A donut a day.
Right.
I genuinely think that they've seen these ideas or they have these ideas brainstormed. And I think this is the beginnings of the start of a multiplayer game for Sony. And from, by the way, who the fuck thought...
Sucker Punch have no right to do this.
Sucker Punch had no right to make Ghost of Tsushima.
They're the dudes that make the Infamous games, right?
They had no right to make Ghost of Tsushima, and then suddenly they came with the multiplayer thing. Anyway, that's going to be...
Up. What like a Goku going Super Saiyan moment in gaming to just be like, hey, we make these Infamous games. They're kind of a cult success. Oh, by the way, here's the best ever samurai sword fighty game ever made.
I'm hoping to go into more detail on True Gamer Plus with that. I'm hoping to really let my feelings out about it.
I will say, because I'm also a realist, I don't think, even if they were down, right, if my wildest dreams came true and they brought us on board to help and all that stuff, it's not coming to this version of Legends. But Ghost of Tsushima 2, Ghost of Tokyo, whatever they call it, Ghost of mainland Japan, after the invasion of whatever.
Mate, as long as it's not a prequel, that's all I care about.
I will slap you. But look, I don't see it coming to this version of Legends. But the next game, I could see that. I could see that. They build up a bit of the online presence. Legends, I think one of the things I think they need to do, this comes in the check. This is the what. The how is with the paycheck, Sucker Punch. But one of the things I think they need to do is actually... The Legends mode is just kind of there.
Yeah.
And it's cool that it was included. It's cool that it's free. But they don't really do enough with it. There's no tournaments. There's no real online presence for it. Whereas like something like Fortnite, you always hear about it. You see ads for it. You see like competitions for it. There's no competitions. It's not really set up in the right way. But you need to start doing that and build the Legends presence. So that when the next game comes out, and there's PvP,
Sony did buy that esports league or whatever it was.
Which
it was
one?
More... What? Let me type it in quickly.
I remember this, but it's like...
PlayStation...
You know when... it totally rings a bell, but I can't remember anything about
it. Esports league? Is it ESL?
Maybe. I don't know.
ESL. I'm going to say it is. I think it is from what I'm saying, but ESL, they purchased like a whole league. I think it was more primarily fighting, like Street Fighter and stuff like that.
Those are super popular though.
They are super popular, but it's not like they can't make a division for this.
That would do so well for that. For the guys that are into like Tekken and stuff, the duels, that would fit much better for them than it would like the COD guys, the Battle Royale types.
Yeah. Anyway, bro.
Yeah.
That's all the topics that we had to talk about. We did have one other thing to talk about. So 2 other things. One, Rockstar have sold over 150 million copies of GTA.
Yeah.
GTA 5.
Yeah,
and it's just going to get even worse when the expanded and enhanced edition comes out in a couple of months.
Talking of this, it's just kind of this and going back a bit. You said about Sony, the one complaint really is that they have these great games with no real online presence. And I was going to say, there's not exactly a huge call from people that want to play like The Last of Us multiplayer. right? Or even Red Dead Redemption 2, which isn't an exclusive. So, but then this game from 2013,
2011, yeah.
Jesus Christ! I the fact that's so many copies sold.
Yeah.
I don't, and also they're not all to new people. Some people they already have it, or they couldn't find their disc and they bought it brand new again.
So, I've lost it. Fuck it, I'll just buy another one.
That's
and
nuts. Yeah.
Another little quote: Phil Spencer confirms that the Elder Scrolls 6, that got teased, I think it was 5 years ago.
It was a long time ago. It's been 2 years. 3, I think.
I think it was 3 years. 3 years ago, with just the title screen, won't release until after Fable.
How long do they need? The Elder Scrolls, by the way, are not famous for being like technical marvels. Yeah. Skyrim was pretty good when it came out, but not like blowing people away. I think Crysis came out at the same time, and Crysis was what people used to like try and melt their gaming rigs, right? So these aren't known for being like mind blowers.
I just don't understand this. Microsoft do this a lot. They're like, even with Starfield, Starfield got announced. That was Bethesda's bad, first of all, for saying Starfield when the game hadn't even been written down on a piece of paper yet.
It wasn't even on a napkin,
right? And there was like, Starfield,
it's coming. We don't know what it is, neither do you, but it's coming.
It's coming. And then they show off this teaser trailer at E3 that, again, CG, no one knows what the hell's going on with it. And then they're like, it's coming out in 2 years' time, and it's like,
cool. So you got a lot of stuff ready then. Can we maybe see like a level played, like you know how God of War did in 2016, 2 years before the game released? But
then Microsoft do the exact same thing. Fable again got that intro sequence, the title card.
It was very Fable, that.
And then it's like, oh well, that's still a few years out. So we're like 2023 then, and then Elder Scrolls 6. That's even further than that.
Yeah.
These games are not even of any consequence. They're going to be like, we're going to probably put it on the next console. That's probably what we're thinking of, right?
Yeah, so Elder Scrolls... I'll be interested to know if ES6 is exclusive. At this point...
That's going to be the interesting part, because it recently came out, was it recently or maybe it was before? Starfield was a game that Sony was trying to pitch as a timed exclusive for the PlayStation.
Yeah.
But that was before the
acquisition.
Acquisition. So then that obviously they just ignored that.
Yeah,
they were like, we're going to do that. And now that is a Xbox exclusive. They've chosen to make the Xbox exclusive. But it's a brand new title, so that's fine. This has some legacy.
So the thing with this is the thing.
What's going to happen?
From a business perspective, in terms of like just making money, they shouldn't do it. Because the only people that are going to buy the game are going to be not on Game Pass.
Yeah.
Because everybody else is getting it for their, $14 a month or something, right?
Well, who knows in like 10 years' time when this game comes out, what the landscape's going to be.
But that's, the other side to that is, if you make an exclusive, and this is the problem with Game Pass being able to play it on PC and stuff, although I'll just, you know what I mean, that if you want to play Elder Scrolls, you're going to have to get an Xbox, except you can play on PC and stuff. But I will say, if Halo does very poorly, I think they might bizarrely have to forego the cash and make it an exclusive. Otherwise, there's no reason to be on it. I want Halo to do well. If Halo if Halo Infinite does really well, then they can do whatever they want.
Yeah,
because Halo Infinite is a title that stands up. If Halo Infinite has the legacy of Halos 1 through 3 and Reach, it can compete with anything out there. You know, maybe not to you and your personal taste, like a person put their personal tastes, but in the landscape, if you go, oh well, Sony's got Ghost of Tsushima, it's got The Last of Us, it's got all God of War, and so but Halo. That's a good point. Yeah. You know, it changes the discussion. So I really, really think Halo Infinite could be the turning point, sharply in either direction.
I'd like to think that, but I guess we'll have to see.
Yeah, we'll
see. Hopefully it'll be releasing soon and we actually get an answer. We see what happens.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I guess we'll see.
Bro.
Yeah.
That's all we've got to talk about here today. Thank you for joining me for another episode, everybody, on the True Game Podcast.
Yeah.
Thank you for being a bro and chatting some games with me, man.
Yeah, man, I like talking about games.
I really enjoyed it because I got to really rub how Ghost of Tsushima is not listening to you in your face. So that's the part of my day that I enjoyed.
Did you know that most of those tweets that I got when like all people had seen was the title, no one even clicked the article, were like, maybe they're listening. This is close. I think even Cass was like, "Oh, is this close? Is this good enough?" I'm like, "It's close. It's getting close. Like it's starting to involve competition."
All it really is teasing me, though. So,
man, I'm glad you got to rub salt in the wound.
Yes,
I did not enjoy this one bit.
There you go. There we go. Look, I have to suffer watching my boy Superman get devoured and just shit on all the time by WB. You can have your game, dude.
That's true. I'll give you that. Yeah, fair enough.
All right. I did want to actually go through some of the comments from the last episode.
Yeah.
Because some people brought some things up. One thing was actually towards you. It says, Sheps' plain disregard for good indie titles saddens me deeply. And I don't remember anything you said about an indie title.
I gotta be honest, I don't remember saying that either, or saying something specific. Because if that was an opinion of mine, I would totally beef this guy out and be like, indie games fucking suck. But I mean, we've played a bunch of indie games. We played Pez, which was very weird. Was it Pez? You know, the dude where like anytime you'd move the stuff, that was an indie game. Frick, what was it? Yeah, Pez. What's those red hats that the little monkeys wear? It's a Pez, isn't it?
Red hats.
Oh, hold on. I'm gonna Google. I just want to double check.
I need to know now.
Pez.
I need to know.
Indie game. So like, I do think. Yeah. Pez. That's it.
Oh yeah.
I assumed Super Meat Boy. Like, I'm down to play indie games. I don't remember beefing them out.
It might have been like you said, one comment about one thing, and it seemed that way.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
I mean, in fairness, just fuck all indie devs.
Fuck all indies.
You know.
He says, well, there are some immaculate stories told by indies.
Yeah.
Not all good stories cost tens of millions to make.
That's
I feel
true.
like there are some games that isn't photorealistic. But if a game isn't photorealistic, Sheps ain't having any of it. He's missing out on some bangers. And he says,
first of all, that's a direct quote, and I stand by it. Second of all, talking about an indie game, was it Snow when we were at EGX?
Yes.
We met those guys. That actually is photorealistic, kind of. I'm really interested I haven't seen anything from them on Twitter though.
For a while, yeah. I'm worried that maybe stuff's gone bad.
Yeah.
I hope not.
But that seemed really interesting. So who's that?
Zacchino.
Zacchino, get fucked. But for real, if you can find what I said, or like timestamp it for me so I can see what I said, and maybe it was a mistake or something, but I don't feel like that's my position.
He says as well, P.S., and we mentioned this a few times, 3D audio is a scam. Don't at me. How dare you, good sir?
Listen here. You fake gamer.
Do you want to hear something dumb? The new update for the PS5, the one that's in beta at the moment, is apparently going to allow 3D audio just through normal TV speakers.
How's that going to work?
So the way it works, apparently, you have to use your DualSense. You put it sort of in the middle of the room.
Oh, okay.
And it uses the microphone to like sense where it is and does some tests and stuff like that.
That's cool.
I don't know, man. I mean, I still think it's a bit of a long shot, but if they're confident, then they're confident. Sean also wrote in regards to the last episodes where we said that a PlayStation Netflix partnership could be a Game Pass competitor.
Yeah.
He goes, if Netflix and Sony partnership happens, will that mean Xbox users can play PlayStation exclusives on the Netflix app? Yes.
Based on what we were saying, but this is the thing, is you're not playing a PlayStation game on your Xbox. You're playing a PlayStation game on Netflix, and you're accessing Netflix to your Xbox.
And in the end as well, it's going to be fairly priced, or the deal that they made would have made enough money, so then the money comes back into.
And
it's not sacrificing too much. And we did say as well that it won't be brand new games day and day. It would be slightly older games.
Yeah.
And then that would entice you to maybe come and buy a PlayStation and come back.
Think about it like this. We just said that, like, we think Game Pass is making this kind of toxic culture of people being unwilling to pay for these great games. But then you bring them these great games at that low price, and then they see what they're missing because it's at the right price point. So imagine you're like, I'm not going to pay $70 for Ghost of Tsushima or for The Last of Us 2 or whichever title, God of War. Not God of War. God of War can never leave the PlayStation.
Don't do it.
I'm serious. That's a hard stop. But whichever, let's say Horizon, right? And they're like, So this is what they're talking about. So this is what they're willing to pay $70 for. Okay.
I get it.
But they're never going to play it at $70 because of the price point. But and then they say, oh, well, the next one's Horizon 3 Dawn or whatever is coming out in 6 months. Well, the only
Forbidden East.
Right. The only way to Allowed North. The only way to play that is on a PlayStation or wait 5 years for my price point. Well, man, this story was really incredible. I actually want to know.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't think it's going to hurt PlayStation at all.
Yeah. Geordie T wrote in and he said something that was quite awesome, actually. He goes, you know the way that PS5 doesn't have backwards compatibility like Xbox, imagine?
Yeah.
Imagine they made a PS Vita that could play PS1 games, PS2 games, PS3 games, and PS4 games, along with PlayStation Now, with new dedicated games for it. That could be a workaround for backwards compatibility with Sony, and it would sell like hotcakes. I would fucking love a little device like that.
I would buy that.
And
I'd buy that.
I think we said it in the thing as well. If they put PS Now integration, then you get to play the most current games on it as well. Granted, it would be streaming, but that's, you know, it's a portable system.
I'll deal with it, yeah.
But I think that would be amazing.
That would be sick. That would be sick. Imagine playing Final Fantasy 9 in a handheld OLED screen, you know.
It all comes back to Final Fantasy 9.
For real, though.
Anyway, guys, that's the end of the podcast for real this time. Thank you guys for joining us for this episode. We'll catch you all next week. Remember, there is a game episode of True Gamer Plus coming out this week. If you're a patron, you can check out the old episode, and you can check out the Conbrosations podcast we did last week as well.
Yeah,
as well
as a good one.
6 other episodes that we did as well. Really cool stuff. And look forward to the future. Bro, thank you for joining me for another episode. Peace. We have to do a lock and key sort of thing.
There's too much shit in the way.
God damn it.
Don't worry, guys. Next week, interior decorating talk.
We forgot to do that this week.
We did forget. I know it's the most favourite, other than correcting conversations. Right. Everybody wants interior decorating talk. Obviously. We will, of course.
Bruv.
Also, I'm sure, as now we mention it, they're nursing the lack of space here. And do you know what? One thing, quick interior decorating talk.
There we go.
That freaking light. The American plugs suck. Everything American sucks. You all suck.
Yes.
That plug, I was just trying to plug in my charger. It came out 3 times.
I've got an American plug for one of my smart lights, and it's just falling out all the time.
It's awful. I don't know how they power anything there.
No. It must, or everything just must be like, hey, everything is going cool, and then just falls out on its own accord, and it's just like, oh, there we go.
Is it a power outage, or is it our shit plugs? We don't know. We'll have to find out if it's still on the wall.
We'll have to find out. Do you reckon they're wiring as well? Like when you hardwire something, it's just barely touching. It's just a little bit on the edge. A little breeze could just pull it all out.
It's just like hanging on by its nails.
You guys suck in America, remember
It's true. Seriously, though, our plugs beat your plugs. That's just a fact.
Plug rules!
That's right. All right, man. For real, this is the last. This is the end.
We're good. Right, goodbye.
Bye.